Welcome to the Bud Light BCS pregame show.
In New Orleans, foggy outside, where perhaps tens of thousands of the ticketless have descended on this city and surrounded the Superdome. An incredible scene, a buildup we've not witnessed before in the BCS era. Number 1 LSU, number 2 Alabama, round 2, an all-SEC championship game inside the Superdome. Frenzy. About 40 minutes to kick off. This place has been full for a while. Fans on their feet. The noise deafening as Les Miles tries to win LSU's 3rd BCS title. No program has done that. Dante Hightower, part of the nation's most rugged defense, historically good, but not good enough to win round 1 when LSU got him 9-6 in overtime. Will we see some touchdowns tonight? We'll get predictions from the guys who were on this big stage a year ago. Gene Chizik from Auburn, Chip Kelly from Oregon. Both teams, of course, facing LSU and falling this year. Gene also played Alabama. Lee Corso, we've seen a lot of special moments in the Superdome over the years. This has been a setting for glory for both programs. Have you seen anything like this before?
No, I haven't. One thing that impressed me about this thing is that Saban has been beaten by Les Miles 2 times in a row. You imagine anybody beating Saban 3 times in a row?
Not many do. He got it 3 out of 5 against him, Gene. What is the coach thinking? What is he trying to get out of his team in the moments before kickoff?
Well, it's really funny as you come down here and you watch these guys warm up. It's really neat because they're both very businesslike right now. I think that's been coached into both teams.
Yeah.
Hey, they've been in these big game venues before. There's no question. I'm not sure quite like this. This is unbelievable.
Neither guy is really a rah-rah speech guy, Chip. Miles said, though, he's frankly worried about too much emotion. When they played here 4 years ago, played Ohio State, they were mentally out of it the first few series.
Well, when we played them, that was the biggest thing for me in our game last year, was our guys were so high and so amped up. In the first quarter, we were kind of off for a little bit. When we took the field, I don't think anybody's cleats touched the field.
They have the added element of playing in their backyard. So many players from the state of Louisiana, so many family and friends. Guys like the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. You know, guys like Jordan Jefferson from this city. That's an added factor as well.
Oh, yeah, that kid. Well, that's why he won 9 straight in this stadium. 9 straight games he won there, boy.
Let me tell you something. They're tough in here. I mean, you know that. I mean, you look around right now, you see a good bit of purple and gold in here, man. It's on tonight.
It's going to be interesting to see how Alabama responds if they get behind. This is a team that was so dominant. They didn't trail for a single snap all year after the first quarter. I mean, that is an absolute rarity historically. What if they got to come from behind tonight against this defense in this place?
That's interesting, especially AJ being a first-year starter. He gets put in that situation. He's never been in it before. You can't simulate that in practice. And with this crowd starting to get on their side, that's going to be real interesting.
Les Miles got in here first. Nick Saban walked right out in the field and ignored him. Did kind of a half a lap around, never went over. The coaches never said hello. Here's Les with Aaron Andrews.
Well, Coach, I know last night you showed your team the inspirational video, the all-listed rematch. What did you want him to take out of it?
Well, I just wanted him to understand it. Just to say this is not unaccustomed to athletics, that you might find an opponent in the schedule yet again, and that it would be physical, and a champion would endure.
We're how long away from this, from kick, Coach? What have you seen out of your team since you've arrived to the Superdome?
I think they're excited. I think they want to play. I think it's get into the flow of the game is the key piece.
Thanks so much.
Muhammad Ali had a big win in this building, knocking out decisioning Leon Spinks to get his title back. Tyrann Mathieu is certainly not a heavyweight in terms of what he tips on the scale, about 175 pounds, but at 5'9", he's able to dominate games with the takeaways. Trent Richardson is a heavyweight back. Gene, if you were coaching Bama, what would you do to get him the touches tonight against LSU?
No question about it. I would stick with what they've done. They moved the ball in the first game. We all saw that. Trent Richardson ran well in the first ball game. You can't abandon any of that. They got to do what they got to do. But again, I said it earlier in the show, the screen game and getting him involved in the screen game and some of those wheel routes that they run out of the backfield, it's going to be big for him to get that ball thrown to him 5 or 6 times a night as well.
He's your guy. When you get to the big game, you can't change your game plan because you're out-coach yourself. He's the guy that got him here. His stats in the second half during the season are unbelievable.
You coach quarterbackship. A.J. McCarron has been told by Saban, show more fire. Let the emotion go. Be yourself. He's had the bowl practices to improve. He seems more confident than the first meeting. We'll see.
That's the key. Quarterback confidence is the #1 thing you're looking for. And what you tell those guys when the game starts is you don't have to make it happen, but you have to let it happen. And when that opportunity comes, you better be ready for it.
And
Jordan Jefferson is his counterpart, Lee.
Jefferson is the key to LSU's offense. Running the ball in the option, scrambling when he's broken on a pass, and quarterback draws. I think this guy, if they let him loose, he can be the difference with his feet.
No doubt about it, Coach. I agree with you, and that's what I said earlier, especially on third downs. They're going to be in some third and longs, and he's going to have to make something happen with his feet or in the air, one or the other, but he's going to have to make something happen.
Jefferson calls this place a sanctuary. He won a state high school championship here in the Superdome. Grew up about 20 miles away from here. Can Coach Miles or Saban break through? Tremendous build up here. The emotion will only continue to rise, the decibel level. And we'll come back. We'll hear from Brett Musburger and Kirk Herbstreit, of course, who will call this game. All the angles, the Tide and the Tigers. Round 2 coming up. Kickoff in just about a half hour from now. Plenty more, including predictions ahead as kickoff approaches.
The Bud Light BCS pregame show is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2012 BCS National Championship and the rematch of #1 LSU and #2 Alabama. You know, New Orleans is known for many unique places and events, so we thought we'd explore a little and find out why it's the perfect host for a night like tonight.
The city of New Orleans waits at the end of the river. Its treasures live beneath wrought iron balconies and along mansion-lined avenues. There's Creole coffee and trombone funk, blue awnings in back alley bars, ghosts of dead generals, and the big stadium on Poydras Street. Man, from uptown to Treme and back again, little wonders are found around every corner. But New Orleans' greatest treasure is an idea. The promise that every night could be one of those nights, like tonight. The sun's going down, the lights are going up. Everybody to the Superdome. So here they are, the Tigers and the Tide. Rank 1 and 2, or rank 1 and, well, whatever. Much like the river, both LSU and Alabama have arrived after a long and twisting journey.
In the air. LSU wins.
And these guys move the ball with the power and inevitability of that river. Well, the rematch is here. This time with a national championship to be settled. Ain't New Orleans lucky? The sun is going down, the lights up. And once again, New Orleans has lived up to the promise that breathes energy into this river city. Tonight is one of those nights.
You are looking live at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, and the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Man, oh man, all that energy, all that hype, dedication, devotion, decision-making, it all culminates here tonight, folks. We're going to settle some past scores, and we're going to soon know just who is the best in the land. One thing's for sure. The team is coming from the SEC. Take a look at the last 5 winners. They have all come from the Southeastern Conference. 2 from Florida, 1 each from LSU, Alabama, and Auburn. Good evening, everybody. With my partner, Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brett Musburger. Thanks for dropping by. Herbie, we've done a lot of big games in this town. I've never seen the city like this. It's an unbelievable scene outside.
When we found out that it was going to be LSU and Alabama in a rematch, and the timing and the rotation happened to be the Superdome in New Orleans, I knew that this would be unprecedented as far as the hype and the buzz around this stadium, and it did not let us down. It was amazing to see the buses come through and to get these teams into this venue, and now it's SEC style here in New Orleans to settle the national championship.
And what a coaching matchup. Nick Saban, of course, won a championship right here with LSU in 2003. He went to the NFL, so Les Miles stepped in and won a second one. And then when you know it, Saban at Alabama went out to Pasadena and won his second. What a great confrontation between these two coaches.
And what's interesting, Brent, is the long layoff that all these coaches have to endure. Alabama 44 days and LSU 37 days. The experience for both coaches and their staffs of getting ready for these types of games will definitely help them get their teams ready to go.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing night here at the Superdome. Right now, let's go back down to the field, and here is Chris Fowler. Chris?
Amazing and amazingly loud. Just deafening roars inside here. Already seeing the inspired play of Marquise Mays. What does he have within him to win tonight? A redemption opportunity after making some crucial mistakes in the Tide's overtime loss to LSU. He threw the pick out of the Wildcat, let a punt go over his head. All right, 2 offensive guys who came in with high-scoring teams a year ago and ended up being a pretty low-scoring championship game. Which offense, Chip, is going to be more successful in moving and scoring tonight?
I think it may be LSU. I think Alabama's game plan is always the same. It's Richardson, Richardson, and more. But if LSU changes what they do, spreads them out a little bit more with Jordan Jefferson, I think that's a little bit different than the last time. Get him on the perimeter with some options, maybe some double moves to Randall. You never know.
LSU, okay?
I'm going to go with Alabama, Chris. I mean, I don't think they have to change much. They moved the ball well early in the game last year, or the last time they played. They're not going to change what they do. They had 44 days to get better at what they do. They're going to run Trent. They're going to play action pass with some deep over routes. They're going to take their shots. I think they move the ball.
And I'll tell you what I think. Neither offense looks good. I'm telling you guys, they've had 44 days. The defensive coaches aren't stupid. Alabama's #1 in the nation on defense. LSU gives up 8 points a game. Neither team. This is going to be a great defensive game.
Guy, I love it.
They're definitely not stupid. Alabama's guy's name is Smart.
Yes,
and
sir.
John Chavis, the chief, he's won a BCS championship
They're not
with Tennessee.
dumb, boy.
So you're saying no touchdowns in this thing?
I
Just
don't.
more field goals?
1, maybe 2.
Well, whether it's with touchdowns or field goals, the winning team's fans will descend on Bourbon Street. That's the view from the Royal Sonesta. That's relatively calm. That'll change in a few hours. Outside, the DirecTV mobile studio continuing its long journey. More than 100 guests as this bus has visited 36 campuses. We're coming back. Predictions ahead.
You're watching the Bud Light BCS pregame show. The Bud Light BCS pregame show is brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the Bud.
Fans in New Orleans joining themselves at the Taco Bell Fan Fest, trying to fill the brand new Taco 12-pack box. The Lowe's Senior Class Award presented annually to the nation's outstanding senior student athlete in 10 NCAA sports. The 2011 football winner is Michigan State quarterback Kirk Cousins, who holds the record for most wins, passing touchdowns, and completions in school history. ESPN and Lowe's congratulate Kirk for his excellence both on and off the field. Quarterback excellence, so crucial tonight. Brilliant atmosphere. LSU fans, I want to say about 65% of the crowd.
Yes.
Alabama holding their own at 35%.
Maybe.
And it is going to be tough on the offenses tonight when the other folks' fans make their noise. What's going to decide this game, Gene, in your mind?
Well, I'll be honest with you. These defenses, it's going to be whoever is the most opportunistic tonight. If you go back to the last game, you got two great defenses. You're only going to get down to that red zone so many times. You can't come away with field goals. You're going to have to score touchdowns. So whoever is the most opportunistic team at the time, no matter how they get down there, they better convert them into points.
Do you gamble down to the red zone, Chip, or do you play it typically conservative if you're these teams?
I think when you get to this game, you got to do whatever you can to score 7. You know, you're not going to settle for 3s, and you may have to gamble because the defenses are so good, you're not going to bang it in there. It's got to be something.
Tom Rinaldi tells me that he kept his eye on the kickers here, Lee. You always talk special teams. Jeremy Shelley, 15 for 15 in warm-ups, including 6 long ones. It's warm-ups. It's not the game.
Yeah, but I think the situation is this. With this long layoff, the coach did the best job of not coaching his team. He's going to win this game. In coaching, I had a philosophy. Paralysis through analysis. You get them thinking so much, they quit hitting somebody. The guy that didn't do as much coaching is going to win this game.
Both sides think their offenses have improved more than their defenses since the first meeting. LSU's offensive line is better, healthier. You've got the young guy Hilliard involved. You've got more time for Jefferson. On the other side, McCarron's got more confidence. Mays is healthier. So we'll see if they have more success. They feel better about that side of the ball.
They do. And that process of learning how to execute with that 44 days off is something that you can't really discount. But like Coach said, the job right now for a coach is let them play and get out of their way. It's all about the kids right now.
We'll see if everybody is wrong and it's higher scoring or if it's really low scoring. Alabama has become the favorite. That changed overnight. Interesting. LSU open as the favorite. Heavy money on the Tide. Headgear predictions just minutes away. You ready, Mr. Corso?
Yes, sir. Sure am.
The Bud Light BCS pregame show is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Back in the Superdome, the Coach's Trophy presented by Dr. Pepper to the winner of this game. In Stillwater, Mike Gunny in Oklahoma State holding out a slim hope the AP might vote them #1 if Alabama is able to give LSU its first loss. You guys have enjoyed your analysis. We'll see you back here at halftime and postgame, but time now to do the tough part. The predictions. Who wins this BCS championship game, Chip?
Well, obviously, like Gene, I don't have a dog in this race. I'm just a fan. And because Gene probably can't pick him, I'll take Alabama.
It's tough either way.
You're not going to do this to me, right?
You have to do it.
You know I can't win. Hey, the team that'll make the fewest mistakes will win the game. I can't go there, Chris. I can't win. I can't wait to see it, though.
You do have a dog in this hunt. Your job gets tougher if Saban and the Tide win this title. Let's just be honest. Lee, we were outside this place 4 years ago. You picked LSU to win the national championship preseason. Louisiana State in the Louisiana Superdome. You picked Ohio State over LSU. How did you do that?
Oh, listen. Not this year, baby.
Not this.
Roll Tigers.
Once again,
Roll Tigers.
Corso goes with the Tigers. We're in the LSU section. That's a popular verdict. Corso thinks LSU makes history and goes 14-0 and becomes the first team to win a third BCS title, denying Nick Saban his third. Folks, stand by for the frenzy and the fun. Kirk and Brett will take you through it. We'll see you back here at halftime, but the game is coming up next from New Orleans.
Kickoff is next. And now, a look inside Nissan's Heisman House. Nissan, proud partner of the Heisman Trophy and the Bowl Championship Series.
We welcome you back to the Superdome as we get ready for LSU and Alabama. Now let's go to the public address announcer. Here is Doug Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would ask that you please rise and observe a moment of silence as we remember our servicemen and women overseas and pray for world peace. And now, please join New Orleans native, Metropolitan Opera star, and cast member of HBO's Boardwalk Empire, Anthony Lachura, as he sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Wonderful job by Anthony Lachura. And you know, folks, it's amazing how much goes into an evening and an event like this one. For New Orleans and everyone watching the national championship around the globe, we are all ready for an ultimate clash between two college football giants. Number 1 versus number 2, LSU and Alabama. Who knew that the reverberations that started on a Saturday afternoon in November would still be felt on a Monday night in January? A defensive battle of the ages sets up a rematch only to be played under the biggest lights, meaning nothing less than everything. Now, the rematch of all rematches. Here we go.
No more for you. Got adrenaline, never giving in. Giving up's not an option, gotta get it in. Witness, I got the heart of 20 men. No fear, go to sleep in the lion's den. That blow, that spark, that crown. You're looking at the king of the jungle now. Stronger than ever, can't hold me down. Who let my gun up in the pitch and round. Straight game play, it's game day. See me running through the crowd full of melee. No trick plays, I'm Bill Gates. Play the genius to understand me.
Sometimes I get a good feeling.
Game time at the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Ranked as the top 2 teams in the nation, the Crimson Tide and Tigers square off once more. This showdown will have no trilogy. The winner tonight will walk away BCS National Champions. Welcome back again, everybody. We're at Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brett Musburger. A little bit later, we're going to hear from Aaron Andrews, Tom Rinaldi, also down on the sideline. Let's talk a little football, my friend.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
start with the Tigers of LSU.
Well, everybody's been talking about could there possibly be more points scored in this game after their first matchup at 9-6 in overtime with the Tigers winning. I think the big thing is Jordan Jefferson. He's kind of the X factor for LSU tonight. His legs have got to become a big factor for the Tigers. Running the ball to the outside for LSU, trying to get to the edge against that big physical Alabama defense, and then he's got to make some throws on third down to try to keep the football and keep it away from Alabama.
Herbert, we know how good Trent Richardson is, but what must Alabama do tonight to win the rematch?
Well, if you look at Alabama, Trent Richardson is obviously the key, but LSU knows he's the key. They're going to stack the line of scrimmage with probably close to 9 guys more often than not. I think Alabama's going to have to show a willingness to say, A.J. McCarron, you're a first-year starter. we trust you. We believe in you. We're going to make you on 1st and 10 with play action. Try to make some big plays in the pass game. Try to get that defense to soften up, and then go back to Trent Richardson and ride him all the way to the championship and a victory.
So Alabama files out of its locker room here at the Superdome. Nick Saban, who has coached both of these teams to national championships, will lead them out. So the tide will roll out, and what a great feeling for these young men. And on the other side, Les Miles holding the Tigers back. Now LSU's turn. This has been the Nissan pregame shift. No, these are the moments and the faces that we all remember so well. Epic battles, even more epic retaliations. The cause and effect. David versus Goliath. Goliath versus David. The rematches. The thriller in Manila. Ali and Frazier. Wimbledon, McEnroe and Bora. The Final Four, Duke and UNLV. The national championship right here, Florida and Florida State. The Super Bowl, Giants and Patriots. And tonight in New Orleans, LSU and Alabama. Here we go again. So now the captains assemble. Tyrann Mathieu, and of course, on the other side, and you're taking a look at some fellas from the New Orleans Saints who are going to be honorary captains. That's Heisman Trophy, former Heisman Trophy winner Mark Ingram, recently underwent surgery on IR. His teammate Roman Harper, and of course, representing LSU, Devery Henderson, their outstanding wide receiver. All three of these fellas played for the Saints this year, and there are honorary captains. There you can see Devery leaning over his teammate, now Harper, shaking hands with everybody, and Ingram. Now for tonight's coin toss, our BCS National Championship referee for the Big 12, Scott Novak.
That's heads. That's tails. What is your choice? Tails. Choice is tails. It is tails. You won the toss. Alabama will defer. You want the ball? Which way you want to kick? Put your back there. LSU over here. Start the first half. LSU will receive. Good luck.
So the Tigers will get the ball first here tonight against Nick Saban's fabulous defense from Alabama. And these two teams were unable to produce a single touchdown. Now, Tom Rinaldi is with Coach Saban, so let's go to Tom now.
Thanks a lot, Brent. 44 days since you last played, 65 days since you played then. All the planning and preparation and practice. Why will tonight be different, Nick?
Well, I don't know that it will be different. They're two good football teams. You know, in some ways, it's unique that we have two teams in the same division in the same conference playing in the national championship. But I do think they're the two best teams in the country.
Appreciate it, Nick. Good luck. Let's go over to Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Tom, thanks. Well, Coach, the city is fired up. The Superdome is electric. What have you told your team about handling all this emotion early tonight?
Get your feet on the ground, get ready to, take it a play at a time. It will make the plays that you came to make. You saw your path, now take it.
All right, thanks so much. Brent.
Thank you, Aaron. Herbie, there is one distinctive check mark for LSU. That's in the kicking game and the special teams, and they get to return the opening kickoff.
No doubt about it. And Tyrann Mathieu tonight will have a lot to do with that as far as trying to create opportunities. You look at the punter and the kicker from LSU and what they did in the first matchup. Brad Wing, Drew Alleman, they were the difference in the game.
So we settle back now with this crowd, and more than 50% represent LSU because it is so close to their campus. They picked up the extra tickets. There doesn't seem to be a question about that.
No, you look around this beautiful venue and you can see a lot of purple and gold, and it's not by accident. You go back and think about 07, they won a championship here. In 03, and their crowd had a lot to do with both of those championships against Oklahoma in 03 and Ohio State in 07.
So Cade Foster will put the ball on the tee, and as we get ready, folks, settle back and enjoy the sights and sounds. The BCS championship is about to begin. Claiborne, and he is brought down at the 28-yard line. So Jordan Jefferson, who was suspended for games earlier this season, was just coming back in game 1. But because Jarrett Lee threw a couple of interceptions in that game, Herbie, he is now the man for LSU.
There's two things. LSU's had a chance to prepare all this time with Jordan Jefferson knowing he was going to be the starting quarterback, and Alabama's defense has not prepared for Jarrett Lee. They've been getting ready for number 9 and everything he can do with his arms and his legs.
So Michael Ford will get the first series. They'll try to get to the edge, but not on the first play. And there, the linebacking core. Upshaw comes up to make the thumping hit on that as we take a look now at Ford, the running back. And you can see the key men, Ruben Randall, so pivotal with their game plan here. P.J. Lonergan is back and quickly on the snap. And there is the man, Randall, that they want to go to on the slip screen. And that'll give them 3rd and short.
Ruben Randall's their difference maker on the outside. They feel like if they can get him matched up one-on-one, he can make some big plays for them. One thing that LSU feels that they've got to be able to do against the size and the physicality of Alabama and their linebackers, get the ball out to the edge in a variety of ways.
Kenny Hilliard, the talented freshman, is going to come in at tailback, and he'll bring J.C. Copeland with him as the fullback. This is 3rd and short. Hilliard wants to make sure that he's got the check with Jefferson. Fumble on the snap. Jefferson will have to eat it for a loss. So the first bobble of the game, and it means 3 and out for LSU.
It's the first 3rd down of the game. The emotions are high. Jordan Jefferson's got to keep his hands in there a little bit better with Lonergan trying to reach out there to make a big block. The emotions of the game are going to be so big here.
Now here's the key guy that you have talked about for days, Herbie, as Les goes over. Here is Brad Wing from Australia. For 15 years, played Australian rules. Key man back in Tuscaloosa. Over Mays' head again. Mays fields it inside the 10-yard line. What a punter Brad Wing is. One of the best folks that we have ever seen. And Mathieu the gunner was down on top of him. So here, Herbie, now is A.J. McCarron.
6'4", 205 pounds. First-year starter taking over for Greg McElroy. Only threw 5 interceptions. He's going to have to make some plays downfield tonight with his receivers, especially Brent on 1st and 10. That's where they're going to have to try to attack LSU's defense through the air.
They opened with Richardson as a ball carry back in November. 17-yard gain. They moved the tight ends over to the left side. Play action, and McCarron's going to roll and dump it off, and that is Smelly. Somebody who figures very prominently for this offensive lineup for the Crimson Tide. A very high percentage throw, and here are the fellows we're going to be watching. Richardson, of course, from Pensacola, Florida. There is Smelly from Tuscaloosa. Hometown young man behind this offensive line. The Outland Trophy winner, Barrett Jones from Germantown, Tennessee. Goes to the Memphis area. He's the big left tackle. And it's first down and 10. Play action again. First two plays, passes. First two to Smelly. And that's to the 29-yard line. And Brandon Taylor with the stop for this very talented defense. A little bit smaller than the Alabama defense up front. But keep an eye on Brockers and Logan. They are the unheralded key. And the linebackers, they like to get 5 and 6 defensive backs out. A big first down puts them in jeopardy. And this may be the best secondary in all of college football. Speed, speed. Second down now for the Crimson Tide. Inside handoff, and LSU knew the run was coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the first couple calls by Alabama shows you that really what they want to try to do. You have an athletic, aggressive LSU defense that doesn't respect McCarron in the passing game. Therefore, they are flying to Trent Richardson and flying to the running game. Jim McElwain, in the first couple calls, uses some misdirection, rolls McCarron away from that speed and gets him on the edge where there's nobody out there left over.
They go to the nickel, and Matthew becomes very dangerous when he steps up on the slot receiver. He now edges down at the top of your screen, number 7. Third down, Matthew trying to get in. He's picked up, complete, and it's a first down. That is Williams, the big tight end. Herbie, they did a great job with number 7. He was trying to get in that time, and they were ready for it.
Well, they get creative when they move Matthew to the nickel, but Barrett Jones, the left tackle, picks him up. But what's impressive to me is Michael Williams. The ball's behind him a bit. Tremendous effort there by Williams to fight to be able to, number 1, catch the ball and then get across the first down line to pick up the first down. First downs in this kind of game are big, not just to keep the ball, but to affect field position.
They stay in nickel. You can always tell when Matthew moves up to the slot. That puts Simon at one of the corners. First down and 10. Incomplete. Mays was coming across that time, and Kevin Minter, the middle linebacker, picked him up.
Talked about how on first down they've got to throw the ball. They've had 3 first downs, and they've had 3 passes on those first downs, trying to break tendencies. This time LSU gets a little bit of pressure on McCarron, forces him out of the pocket and to throw the ball before he's ready to.
LSU expects a running play. Francois checks back in off the sideline to give him the extra linebacker. McCarron IDs the middleman, the Mike linebacker. And they were running. And it was read perfectly by John Chavis. He sent the extra linebacker right on the field.
Well, what they're able to do is just look at the personnel groupings. When they see a certain group, and they saw that case, a couple tight ends come into the game, and that's what forced them to be able to put their more base personnel with the 3 linebackers, more physicality to be able to hold up against the run. Still a pretty good gain because it sets up a 3rd and manageable here for Bama.
Here's the defense that Jim McElwain calls the freaks. 6 defensive backs are on the field now for LSU. Brooks checks in. It is 3rd down and 5. And McCarron hands it off on a running play. Richardson tripped up, can't get the first down. Stopped a yard short on that play.
In a game where field position is going to be so big, tremendous effort by LSU's defense, keeping him short of the first down and forcing the punt here by Alabama. But by Bama picking up the first down, again, they can affect field position here with a solid punt.
They'll set the return. When Matthews goes back deep, that means they want to return against Cody Mandel. touchdowns in each of LSU's last 2 games returning punts. Arkansas and Georgia in the SEC championship. Big part of this game right here. Out of bounds. They keep it away from number 7. So we'll take a break. And when you come back, LSU will have the ball again. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. The city of New Orleans on a Monday night. So if we want to compare punters, Herbie, Wings punt 59 yards and Alabama's first punt only 33. Now Hilliard stays in as they go to that pistol formation. He's directly behind Jefferson. And it was stopped, but it looked like they were going to bring option to the wide side of the field.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. Number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Alex Hurst, the 6'6" right tackle, moved a little early. So a couple little mistakes here by LSU.
Yeah.
Remember on this 3rd down snap, and now the false start.
That's the last thing that Jordan Jefferson and the Tigers can afford to do against this Alabama defense.
They put Randall in the slot. They are determined to try and keep the double team off him tonight if they can. Beckham is out wide. That's toward the bottom of your screen. They come back with the freshman running back. He is a big boy, and Les Miles has called this big boy football. And when you go against this Alabama defense, Herbie, you are playing against some big boys. Now, Nick Saban likes to get all his pressure up front with 7. Does not like to have 8 in the box if he can avoid it. 2nd down and long. There is that option look that we were expecting, and Jefferson a little bit sloppy.
That is a slow developing play by Jordan Jefferson against Alabama. I understand running the option, get the speed to the edge, challenge the size of the Alabama linebackers. But if you're going to make a run, these safeties and corners are up to run support. You can see Mark Barron early in this game, a big factor defending the run, very physical, and understands this defense as well as anybody. But Jordan Jefferson, when they run option, he's got to attack and use his speed.
So 3rd down and 10, and Spencer Ware in as the running back. This is Ware, well short of the 1st down. Upshaw with the tackle.
And here's an example. Jordan Jefferson, you've got to be able to take your pitch man out of the play. Watch Courtney Upshaw. Not only is he forced to pitch, then he runs down the line and makes the play on Spencer Ware. The quarterback has to take away the pitch man, account for him, and then Ware may have room to be able to get to the edge and be able to pick up a 1st down.
So Mays will go back deep again, and here's that battle. Brad Wing. He could do it rugby style on the move. Straight away like this. Boom it. And Mays will return this from the 25. Comes right up the middle. 40, 45, 50. Mays breaks. Wing is there, and he's out of bounds.
Brad, towards the end of that play, he looked like
he's
he was
hurt.
Yeah, he looked like
he pulled a hamstring or something. Herbie.
Sure did. And towards the end of that play, he almost just gave up on the play and went out of bounds. And he is a true leader for this team. He played in the first matchup with a sprained ankle. And for his sake, you hope that's just a cramp.
We'll take a break, but before he limped off, Mays gave the Crimson Tide a golden opportunity. There you can see he pulled it up just shy of the 40, and then he steps out of bounds. So when we come back, Alabama will have the ball on LSU's 26-yard line.
The Allstate BCS National Championship is brought to you by Allstate. Play the Allstate Championship Challenge at allstatechallenge.com. Gatorade. These teams have what it takes on the inside to win. Do you? Join the conversation. Ford. Drive one. And DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DIRECTV.
Wonderful views of the Superdome, courtesy of the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. So Herbie, Alabama with its first golden opportunity. Mays will go back to the locker room after apparently pulling a hamstring, a 49-yard return, and it gives Bama the first golden opportunity of this championship. And on first down, McCarron got time, comes in underneath, and a sliding catch at the 10-yard line by Darius Hanks, who must now become the go-to guy.
And let's see if he gets his knee down before he slides out of bounds. Tremendous effort. Looks like that right knee got down. I'm sure they may take another peek at this, but another 1st and 10 pass by Alabama. Breaking tendencies. They know they have to throw the ball against this LSU defense when it's more on when they want to throw, not allowing LSU to dictate when they throw the football.
Constantly shifting tight ends. Offensive coordinator Jim McElwain. From the pistol, Richardson has jumped in the backfield. Big Benny Logan was the first man to hit him.
That loss of Mays at this point, we'll see if he's able to come back. Alabama fans know with Julio Jones leaving and going to the NFL, Mays has become the guy on the outside, not just their best playmaker, but really the leader. You can see his reaction, how emotional he is. The offense with a young quarterback that really relies on him and his leadership. So let's keep an eye on him and his health and whether or not he's able to come back. And you're right, Hanks and Brad Smelly have got to be able to pick up the load in the passing game.
Now they bring two tight ends tight to the right side of the formation on second down and goal. McCarron's getting time, incomplete. It'll be third down, and Michael Williams was covered that time in the corner of the end zone.
Remember the first matchup when Alabama moved the ball at will at times. They'd get inside the LSU 40-yard line, and they were unable to come away with points. Their first 3 drives, they moved the ball, and you know, they ended up missing 3 field goals. Now here they are again in plus territory. Can this game, can it be different? Are they going to be able to execute down here and get touchdowns and not settle for field goal attempts?
Now they send Richardson out of the backfield, out with Kenny Bell on Hanks. 3 receivers to the left. McCarron checks to the right. Pump fake, gonna get hit from behind on the throw and gets it off in time. So it was out of bounds. Brad Smelly makes the catch. But the field goal unit, I believe, is jogging onto the field.
And this has been a kind of a reoccurring theme for Alabama this year when they got into the red zone, not just against LSU and their struggles in that game, but really without a true threat out at wide receiver, outside of Mays. You look at what they've done when it comes to scoring touchdowns. They've only been able to convert 58% of the time for touchdowns.
23-yarder. Shelley nails it, and that is huge for his confidence. He was lethal in the pregame warm-up, and Alabama takes an early field goal lead. This year's AT&T All-American Player of the Year, Robert Griffin III from Baylor. On behalf of AT&T, we'd like to congratulate Robert and thank all the college football fans out there who voted. The AT&T All-American Player of the Year determined by the fans. And that, of course, the Baylor quarterback who also won the Heisman Trophy earlier in December. What a fine young man. And believe me, a lot of NFL scouts are getting very interested in RG3. Kate Foster with the ball on the tee. LSU has struggled on offense. Both times they've had the ball 3 and out. Now Claiborne is a terrific kickoff returner. Fields this one from the 8. And great coverage by Bama. He's down at the 27. So it has been a tumultuous season for LSU off the field in many ways. Offensive coordinator Steve Craigthorpe was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and was replaced. Russell Shepard, wide receiver, suspended. Jordan Jefferson, Josh Johns were arrested. There was a fight in a bar in Baton Rouge. Jefferson's charges were reduced. He came back to the team. And then, of course, Matthew Ware and Simon were also suspended. And somehow Les Miles and this coaching staff kept this team together. Alfred Blue, the running back. A leaping grab by Odell Beckham Jr. Maybe that'll settle Jefferson down. Herbie, if anything, Jordan Jefferson just has not settled into the game. They're coming up quickly to the huddle. They're coming without it. So they're going to go fast now. Jordan Jefferson keeps it. That's what he can do. Hurt you on the run. You were critical of his option ability, but when he takes off like that, he's a strong
Well,
one.
and he's got to be able to make a difference when things are covered. This Alabama defense will cover down a lot of things, and his legs have got to be able to create and keep plays alive. This tempo, I think, has as much to do with trying to get him to not think as much and just play the game.
Trying to pick it up, and here he is on a read and nothing doing, and that was Kirkpatrick.
And this is what Alabama's defense has learned from the last time they faced LSU in that option. They're going to play a little bit more cover two, which gets a corner up and run support. Dre Kirkpatrick is there, able to make a play. LSU averaged 8 yards a carry in the first matchup when they ran option with Jefferson. That time, Kirkpatrick's there to make the play.
Jefferson fires, and that is complete to the 47-yard line, and Beckham again.
It's a big completion because now they get back to where their comfort zone is, where they're a little bit closer. 3rd and 4. They need to avoid those 3rd and 6+ chances and get to 3rd and 3 to 4.
Nickel coverage on this. They drop it off to Blue, who's going in reverse against that defense that time, and that was C.J. Mosley.
C.J. Mosley had Alfred Blue man for man coming down to the backfield, and what was amazing is with that hurry up, Mosley's just running out of the field, and he looks up and he's, oh, I got 4, I got him. All of a sudden the ball's right there, and he's able to make the play out in the flat. So Alabama a little hesitant getting the right personnel and getting the call in, but it didn't backfire on him.
So Alabama, with Mays out, now faces his first big decision as Brad Wing will come in. He's late to get on the field this time. Got it off in time, and a fair catch is signaled at the 10-yard line, and that was Christian Jones, a young freshman receiver who was back as the punt return man. So a very busy sports weekend, and a friend of yours making the Hall of Fame.
Just a huge fan, lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan. Very happy for Barry Larkin going into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved.
So up by a field goal, A.J. McCarron brings the Bama offense back, and again they keep the field spread. And in trouble, slips a tackle, and it will be incomplete. Matthew had the coverage, and he was all over Hanks that time, but there was pressure from Ryan Baker, a linebacker from Florida.
And interesting that you see Hanks in the backfield, and when he releases, makes it very easy for Baker. There's confusion up front on that offensive line, but when Baker came, McCarron did a nice job of avoiding the pressure and just being able to get rid of the football there.
Brandon Gibson, one of the Bama receivers right now. Eddie Lacy is in as running back. There's a penalty flag on this play. Lacy trying to get the left edge is stopped at the 15 by Kevin Mentor, but the line judge threw the flag.
Offside, line of defense, number 94, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Kendrick Adams, the defensive end, guilty. LSU has made more mistakes than Alabama. And Mays, if he can come back, is big here for Bama.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on him. As I said, he's a true leader for this offense and one of their best playmakers when it comes to the passing game. His presence coming back out will get a reaction from the Alabama crowd.
Kevin Norwood, also one of the wide receivers now. Play action. McCarron on the roll, going to drop it off to Smelly underneath for a first down. Baker makes a stop, and let's check in down below with Tom Rinaldi.
Brett, the training staff said Marquise Mays was considered questionable. He obviously just answered that question by coming out of the locker room. His left leg has been wrapped, a hamstring injury. He is expected to attempt to return. We'll have to monitor it going forward.
been really...
Marcavius Mingo, Herbie, just checked in, a speed rusher. And instead of lining up in the left, they've been working him on the right side of this defensive line all week in practice, and he'll sit down over there. McCarron deflected, caught on the ricochet, and it was caught by Underwood, one of the tight ends.
And this defensive alignment here, Mingo, because he's so athletic, you can see that he can drop back out into the flat, but looked like that time Benny Logan just puts his big hand up there to knock the ball down. But what tremendous concentration here by Underwood. And what I love what Jim McElwain's doing right now is he's moving A.J. McCarron around. Now they have Barrett Jones lined up as a fullback here. He's showing a lot of different looks.
14 plays and 10 passes by Alabama. They have broken tendency here. And they come back with Lacey, and he is stopped right at that first down marker, and he appears to have moved the chains. Yes, he has, for Alabama.
There's an overload to the right where Barrett Jones, their All-American left tackles, lined up as a fullback, and then moves up to the right side, and they overload that right side. And again, just a different look. You have all this time to prepare, and Jim McElwain clearly taking advantage of it. A lot of different formations and personnel groupings, trying to create some confusion for LSU.
McElwain loves an unbalanced line. Now they shift two tight ends over to the left. First down and 10. Final seconds of the opening quarter. And here's McCarron, gonna go deep. Leaping catch. Ball is grabbed at the 38-yard line, and Norwood off the bench made the leaping catch for Bama as the first quarter comes to an end.
Well, we talked about who's going to step up with Mays out, and here is Norwood, a sophomore, only has 7 catches on the year. Tremendous effort to go up and over the Honey Badger and make a huge play on another play-action pass on 1st and 10.
Honey Badger better care about that one. That's 26 yards. And this young man
in his zone
has put a charge into the Tide, playing with some confidence, Herbie, which is what he said he lacked in game 1. Enjoying himself. First quarter's come to an end. Bama leads it. A field goal with Alabama and LSU. Where have we seen that before, folks? Crimson Tide leads it. And Herbert, what about that first quarter?
I'm impressed with A.J. McCarron and the way Jim McElwain is utilizing him in this passing game. They've had a lot of success. We talked about it before the game. 1st and 10 is the time they want to attack LSU. He's 5 for 5 on 1st and 10 with play-action passes.
2 stories. McCarron's playing very well, and Lacey stays in the game. Play action. He's got a wide open Smelly, and he just overthrows him by a yard. He was breaking free on that far side. Number 17 is a huge part of the game plan. But my question is, what has happened to Richardson?
And Brent, look at what they're looking at on 1st and 10. Eddie Lacy's in the game for Trent Richardson. A little bit of action there with the reverse there to the freshman. But all the eyes of the defenders in the backfield. And what's happening is these tight ends are slipping behind that coverage, and that time he just missed making a huge play again on 1st and 10.
Harrison Jones, one of those tight ends, is off to the right. Kenny Bell is number 7. Play action. McCarron left open, takes off and slides to the 30-yard line. So this will put them in a 3rd and manageable. Very good decision by the young man from Mobile, Alabama.
And because they're mixing up the play calling, what has happened is I think LSU has lost some of their aggression. And I think the pass protection has been outstanding for McCarron. He's had time to evaluate, look down into coverage, and then here he makes a great decision to pull the ball down and instead of throwing it away, pick up some valuable yardage.
Lacey stays in as the running back in 3rd down. They now shift in to a power formation. Pressure from the linebackers, and Lacey not going to get there. You got to wonder why number 3 wasn't on the field. That was Matthew came up to make the stop.
You see Matthew back here, and he's going to get in run support. And Brent, you're right. The first matchup, you know, Trent Richardson had 3 touches inside the LSU 40-yard line. And for whatever reason, they in plus territory again, and number 3 is not in the lineup.
Cade Foster trots in. Here comes your 49-yarder. It's a fake. Shovel pass inside. Got. Oh, it's going to be close. It is really going to be close. Underwood. Everybody said, why didn't Saban pooch punt? Why didn't he fake? Saban was listening. It was 4th and 4. It is going to be so close, folks. They push the players away, bring the chains out.
That's about as close as you can get, Brent. Underwood came from the left side.
Wow. Alabama moves the chains by an inch.
Brent, Underwood's lined up to the left here. He's going to come under. The action is this way. It's just a little shovel pass. LSU, a good job on these long field goals after the way the first game went, being observant, expecting the fake, and you might see LSU challenge this call. It's actually under review without them needing to challenge it.
And that is David Ames. He is our replay official. He is from the Big 12. This is Scott Novak's crew. So they're going to take a look at this spot. There's the shovel pass. He broke a tackle from Matthew. Matthew could not bring him down. Mingo finally did. We'll take a break and come back with the decision. Well, it is a first down for Alabama. Chris Underwood was able to pick it up by an inch. And now A.J. McCarron, and here comes Trent Richardson. He is back on the field for the Tide. Play action to Richardson. Coming in underneath to Hanks. Incomplete. Takes a blow on the play from the linebacker Baker, who picked him up.
There's an adjustment here by John Chavis. He's tired of these passes out to the flat. He gets his linebacker Baker out there on a 1st and 10. How many times are they going to have to see play action with A.J. McCarron rolling out and having either a tight end or a receiver out in the flat? That time, great job of seeing the call, and Baker that time using acceleration to dislodge the football.
We get reports that Mays has gone back to the locker room. Injured on a punt return. 2nd down and 10. Here is the handoff to Richardson, and he's stopped at the 25-yard line by Matthew.
Bama has got to be able to get points when they get into plus territory. It was a big story, their first matchup in Tuscaloosa. 21 plays inside the 40, only 4 yards. And tonight, I've had 11 plays and 33 yards and come away with a field goal. But let's see if that courageous call by Alabama with that fake field goal ends up giving them a chance to get points here.
They'll go 3rd and 7. Gibson far out to the right as a wide receiver. McCarron throws quickly, incomplete. And it is 4th down, and Matthew with coverage for LSU.
Interesting, they look for the matchup, and they go for Norwood, who made the big play earlier against Tyrann Mathieu. And he's very physical at the line of scrimmage. Timing there, McCarron trying to get the ball out of his hands, and I'm sure some of the Alabama fans are saying, what about pass interference? Tight coverage by Matthew there.
Now Shelley is on the field for a 42-yarder. He put Alabama ahead 3-0. From the left hash. Blocked. And that excites the LSU crowd. Rockers. The big defensive tackle. Gets a hand on it. great left hand by number 90. Those two defensive tackles, Logan, 93, Brockers, 90. They've been underrated all year long.
The All-State BCS National Championship is brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Tell the world what makes you one of a kind with the IMA hashtag on Twitter. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. Tostitos, Tostitos knows how to party. And Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Well, fans were celebrating at a party at the Bud Light Hotel this weekend, getting geared up for tonight's big game. And so far, Herbie, the LSU offense hasn't done much, although Jordan Jefferson has completed his first 4 passes.
Yeah, Jordan Jefferson, only first down of the game for them was a scramble. And here again, another miscue here by LSU.
Ball start on the offense, number 72, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Nick Saban at the end of that drive, when they settled for a field goal, their kicker ends up missing it. And after everything that happened in the first game, Nick Saban here comes over to him and addresses him. Tom Rinaldi, standing right there, you can see him in the background, actually said, the Coach Saban went over and said, hey, we believe in you. We're going to come back to you. You're our guy. I love to see a coach early in the game reinforce the confidence that he and his team have in him.
That's a 3rd penalty against LSU. Here's Beckham. They try to set a screen and nothing doing as Menzie, the corner, Daquan Menzie, came up and made a fine play.
And there are arguments that this may be one of the best defenses of all time in college football, this Alabama group. You think they need help? You think 1st and 15 is the way to try to attack Alabama? Now they're at 2nd and long, and when you get behind the chains against this defense, they're going to get very creative, and that's when they can get very, very aggressive with their blitz pressure.
Randall is in the slot to the right. Jefferson looks in that direction. Juggled, and he hangs on to it. Made a fine juggling catch to the 29-yard line with that.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was almost a big play for Alabama. Dante Hightower here, and let's take a view from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. He jumps the route. Almost got his left hand on it. Almost a step away from being able to step in front of that and take it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Now Spencer Ware replaces Kenny Hilliard in the backfield. He's number 11 for the Tigers. Jefferson is back in the gun. It's 3rd and 7. Randall back in that slot again. Jefferson looks in that direction, comes in underneath, and incomplete. Using Ware as a receiver out of the backfield. And again, LSU cannot mount a drive against Alabama.
It's also interesting that Alabama brought 4. They didn't blitz. They didn't bring pressure. Forcing Jordan Jefferson to read zone defenses, which sometimes for a quarterback can be a lot tougher than being able to see the coverage in man-to-man.
All right, he's back for his 2nd return. As we told you, he's the freshman wide receiver, Christian Jones. Brad Wing standing at the LSU 14-yard line. Low. And drops it at about the 25-yard line. So Alabama will have the ball, and McCarron in the early going is 9 of 15 for 92 yards. Area coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Well, celebrating its 7th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating university general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. And to date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.6 million in scholarship monies. A.J. McCarron in Alabama. Richardson on the field next to him at his left. The field is spread to the right. Richardson with his first reception coming out of the backfield and out of bounds near the 30-yard line.
Alabama looked like they might have a chance to put points on the board in their last drive. There was the big play here again, 1st and 10 play action, giving McCarron time, gets him away from the pressure. Norwood went up and over Matthew to make the play. Here's the fake field goal. Backside, a little shovel pass to Chris Underwood, and then the field goal attempt, which was blocked. And it's interesting, Bama's gotten down to the LSU 6-yard line and the LSU 25-yard line, and they have 3 points. Sound familiar?
Yes, it does. And Chavis checks in with 3 linebackers on this 2nd down and 6. And here's Richardson, hit in the backfield for a loss that time. Mingo, that lightning quick defensive end.
He uses quickness here and just is able to attack the gap. Watch how he just shoots down DJ Fluker, the right tackle, can't deal with that speed. In fact, the right guard that time, McCullough, also, I think, surprised by the slant, the movement of this LSU defensive line. John Chavis that time guessing right which way he slanted the D-line. The speed there of Mingo is the difference.
And he keeps 3 linebackers on. Does not go to the nickel. That keeps Matthew outside on the corner. McCarron forced out of the pocket, fires complete to Hanks, got the first down. At the 37-yard line, he picked up number 15, and A.J. McCarron continues to impress with a passing game.
And 3rd down, John Chavis dials up some pressure of his own. In fact, Kiki Mingo drops back in coverage like a linebacker from his defensive end position. Watch Hanks not give up on this. His quarterback's buying a little time, little rub route there, not only catches the ball, but deals with Eric Reed, who makes a big hit there to try to dislodge that football. But right there's the young man that has got to step up with Marquise Mays down. Darius Hanks, the senior's got to be able to make plays.
Richardson around the right side finds a hole and steps into it to the 43-yard line on that 1st down. Adams, and that's a good 1st down run for Bama.
Watch Norwood and Smelly sustain their blocks, 87-17. Not only do they lock on, and Adams does a good job. Kendrick Adams, 94, does a good job to fight away from Chris Underwood. But that's a very big key in this game for Alabama. They thought in the first matchup they weren't able to lock on and sustain blocks, and it affected their running game.
Now Simon checks in. So there are 5 defensive backs. Matthew will go to the slot receiver on this 2nd down. He's looking at Hanks. And they'll run Richardson against the nickel for a 1st down to midfield.
I love William Vlahos, center that's 6'1", 300 pounds. He's played so much football for this football team. He and Barrett Jones, the left tackle who won the Outland this year, are the real leaders up there. But maybe the most talented man up front is Chance Warmack, the left guard. Just a great group of linemen.
Now Taj Jones is back as a linebacker. That'll bring Simon back out, and Matthew will go back to corner. 1st down and 10. Claiborne up in bump and run, and so is Matthew. Trying to get a linebacker pressure. They can't. Smelly comes underneath, and well sniffed out by McElwain. He read what Chavis was up to that time, and it's to the 45-yard line.
Can't say enough about A.J. McCarron. I know Alabama's not putting points up on the board, but he's seeing this defense right now. The 44 days of preparation has allowed him to, some fans upset, maybe thinking about a late hit here, but he's seeing the coverage and getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Seems to just have a presence about him tonight that we didn't see in that first matchup.
On 2nd down, the delay. Richardson's got daylight. 40, 35. Going to be run out of bounds. Close to the 25-yard line. Eric Reed coming over. But he saw the daylight. No one outside to the left. And like the good runner is, he cut in that direction 20 yards.
Brent, you're exactly right. It's the vision. Watch the tight end here. Underwood again. He made the big block earlier on this drive. This time he locks up with Kiki Mingo, pushes him to the inside. And when you're on the backside of a run with Trent Richardson, your block on the backside because of his vision is just as important on the play side.
Hanks is in the backfield, right next to the quarterback. That offensive line giving McCarron time. Throw to tight coverage, incomplete that time. And coming over was Hatcher, the middle linebacker. Give you an idea of how Alabama's dominated this game. They have 10 first downs to LSU's 1 so far.
It's interesting that in the first game, and I thought it would be different in the second game, Trent Richardson, when Alabama gets into plus territory, goes out of the game. And he's by far their best playmaker, and he's not injured. He just goes out of the game. Lacey comes in, and this is an offense that has struggled in plus territory without Trent Richardson in the lineup.
Delay with Lacey. Spins to the left and crashes inside on a fine run. His best of the night to the 16-yard line, and Claiborne cleans it up.
Bit of a risk here by LSU. They brought the house. A lot of pressure. They brought their linebackers, and that's going to be feast or famine. You're either going to make a play in the backfield, or if the back's able to get around him, there's a lot of room to run. It's a good job of picking up the blocks up front and pushing Ryan Baker outside. And then how about the spin move here by Lacey?
Brockers and Logan check back into the middle of that defensive front for LSU on this 3rd and short. Lacey, the running back. Smelly, the tight end. Lacey is ridden down short of the first down, and Brockers makes another impact right after he checks back into the game.
Now, you and I both love these inside guys. Brockers is involved here. Love this shot here. But watch Kiki Mingo. He's known as a pass rush expert, but this time gets involved in run support. This time he beats the block of the big tight end Underwood and gets involved to push Eddie Lacey back.
So Nick Saban coming right back with Jeremy Shelley. Ball will be put down at the 24-yard line. Remember now, McCarron is the holder. This would be a 34-yard field goal. They have faked one earlier with their other kicker. Nails this one. Here we go again. Alabama up by a pair of field goals in the BCS championship. We welcome you back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship game. Alabama 6, LSU nothing. You know, Herbie, down the stretch with LSU, they had a tendency to fall back in the first half and then come on, and you know what turned around? Matthews punt return touchdown.
And until we see something differently, whether it's a punt return, a kickoff return, a turnover, a sack, something to spark LSU to get their fans into the game. Remember, Alabama in their last 2 games against Georgia Southern and Auburn, they gave up kickoff returns for touchdowns. So if LSU wants to maybe try to do something, maybe they get a big return here to get this crowd going, get some momentum back.
Here's Foster's kickoff, and here is Claiborne. He took a big one back against West Virginia in a 27-21 game. And Alabama does a great job of not letting him get outside, and he's brought down at the 21-yard line. So here are the LSU possessions doing nothing offensively.
3 and outs, and the one time that Jordan Jefferson scrambled to keep a drive alive, they picked up a first down, but still they ended up punting. So here we are, midway through the second quarter, and they've got 1 first down. It just reminds me a lot of the SEC championship game when Tyrann Mathieu had to give him a spark by having a big punt return for a touchdown.
We've got an ISO look as Copeland, the 280-pound fullback, checks in. And the freshman Hilliard, they're determined to get Hilliard going. Here he is. Picks up a couple against that fierce Alabama front. As good as any you will see. They did everything in that game back in November except win. And yes, that counts. But this is a fabulous front seven. These guys, when you see them on the hoof, Herbie, you and I were impressed. I said, wow, it looks like they could be playing the New Orleans Saints on Saturday night.
And by playing a 3-4, those defensive linemen don't necessarily make a lot of plays as far as tackles, but they consume the linemen and allow those 4 linebackers to run around and make all the tackles.
Jefferson checks with the sideline for a change in the signal. LSU searching for a play. Something big to happen. They roll Jefferson to the right. And he's going to hoof it out of bounds. Beckham was the target as he rolled right. He got checked in that zone coverage and was trying to sit down, and Jefferson had committed to the run.
That was just outstanding coverage. Jefferson's looking in to this defense, and he's trying to find somebody to get it to. Beckham, 33, he's locked up there. There's nobody open, and eventually Jordan Jefferson tries to make something happen there to try to pick up a yard or two.
3rd down and 5. Claymore, one of the tight ends, number 88. Spencer Ware, one of the better receiving running backs. They're very deep at that possession, but so far, Jordan Jefferson has been confused. Quarterback draw, steps out, and it's stopped. The line judge.
Prior to the ball being snapped, timeout, LSU. First charge of the first half. Get 30-second timeout.
So LSU burns a timeout here with 2:44 to go. You know, Herbie, the easy thing to say is maybe we should see Jarrett Lee, but you know, that's not always what you want in this situation. Jefferson's a better athlete than what we've seen here so far.
Yeah, and I think it's a little bit premature. Remember the game in Atlanta when they played Georgia, they couldn't get anything going offensively. They had a big punt return, and after that, not only was it a punt return for a touchdown, but it seemed to get Jordan Jefferson, and it got him some momentum. They're a play or two away from this team gaining some confidence. I know it's much tougher to do against Alabama. If I'm looking at LSU, the one thing they've got to be able to do is take some shots downfield. Try to get aggressive with your thing to slow down the aggressiveness of Alabama's defense.
Sinceri is the free safety for Alabama on this series. 3rd down and long. He's back in center field. Terrific special teams player, son of an Alabama assistant coach. Low snap. Jefferson picks it up. Nothing doing. They are forced to punt. So they burn a timeout. They come up with another sloppy play, and it continues.
And this is coming out of a timeout. The clock's down to play clock's down to 3, 2, 1. Jordan Jefferson's looking off to his right. He gives it the leg kick. But as he's fielding the snap, he's actually looking at the Alabama defense. That's why he drops the ball. It's like, see his eyes peek up. His eyes look up because he senses pressure, and by taking his eye off the ball, he just drops it on the ground. Another miscue that Bama's forcing on LSU's offense.
Well, that's the 4th 3 and out. Brad Wing hangs it up in the air. Jones, fair catch signal. And at the 22, Matthew, the gunner, in on top of him. As we take a look at tonight's Taco Bell touchdown spotlight. Back in 2010, folks. Look at what we're going to show you. McElroy, touchdown. Alabama against LSU. Julio Jones. There's one problem. Julio Jones is in Atlanta. Greg McElroy's with the Jets. They're not coming out of that locker room. This Alabama team has got to do it right now.
Well, I think A.J. McCarron is playing pretty good football tonight. Like I said, he just looks to be, of the two quarterbacks, the quarterback has been able to get off to a faster start, and I think it's affected his confidence and the offense's confidence. Despite not having Marquise Mays in the lineup, they've done a great job of mixing up their personnel groupings and mixing up play-action pass on 1st and 10, moving the pocket, rolling him around. They've just done a lot to slow down LSU.
Richardson, you saw the picture, check back in. McCarron on 1st down drops off the screen pass to his running back, and he's down at the 30-yard line. So McCarron, you certainly, Herbie, you pointed out, you cannot fault anything he's done tonight. 13-20 for 117 yards. The quarterback comparison, Jordan Jefferson's relatives may want to look away right now.
And it's not pretty. LSU has 17 yards. If you look at the rushing yards to go along with the 26 passing yards, that's not going to get it done.
Richardson, short of the 1st down. Everyone expects that this is Richardson's last game with the Crimson Tide, that he will declare that he's going to the National Football League. He's raised a couple of daughters, or I should say helped raise them. They're back with the mama back home in Pensacola. He's been a father since his high school days. Doak Walker Award winner this year. 3rd down and 2. It's a shot, and he's got the 1st down. He has a tremendous base. He is so hard for one man to bring him down, and it mystifies Herbie and me why they don't use him down in the red zone.
Well, they've been moving the football, and it looks like they're going to go hurry up themselves. They've been moving the football and getting into LSU territory, and you're right, he's been checking out of the lineup.
1st down, McElwain going to go airborne again. Tried to drop it to Smelly, and this time LSU has made an adjustment, and they came hard with Brandon Taylor, the safety that time.
The clock's winding down. Nick Saban ends up calling the timeout. Remember, Alabama does get the ball to start the 2nd half. So right now they're just trying to fight to get into field goal range. But A.J. McCarron, without having Mays, is not going to be able to get into field goal range by dumping it down underneath there to Brad Smelly.
Well, coming up on the Buick halftime report, Chris Fowler, Gene Chizik, and Chip Kelly will break down the first half. I don't remember our friend Chip Kelly taking LaMichael James out at critical times when they got close to the goal line with the Ducks. I mean, it's a mystery here for me.
It really is, not to mention that they have struggled in the last game and in this game. Tonight, they've gotten down to the 6-yard line, the 25-yard line, and then the last drive, the 17-yard line. And despite having those opportunities, they're not putting the ball into the end zone. They've come away with just 6 points. LSU is one play away from making something happen and getting right back into the game and capturing some momentum.
And that's what they did against Arkansas and again against Georgia, the SEC championship. You can't leave them in the game when you got a chance. 2nd and 12 for the Tide. Matthew is picked up, coming on a blitz, and it's complete to the 45-yard line, and that is Norwood again.
Good job of Trent Richardson picking up the blitz by Matthew. Bama trying to hurry this up here. Clock is moving after that first down.
Karen in underneath with a completion to the 41-yard line. Simon makes the stop on Williams, the tight end. Now Bama with 2 timeouts in 21 seconds. They used one.
Again, Nick Saban trying to help out, making some timeout calls there from the sideline. Bama very impressive with Norwood and what he's been able to do here, making a few catches. Got a couple catches for 46 yards. And Trent Richardson picked up Honey Badger coming off the left edge to give McCarron a little bit more time. As long as you see where he's coming, gives you a chance there. And McCarron steps up into the pocket to make that throw.
Is that one of the great nicknames that we've had in college football in a long time? Number 7. The Honey Badger with that dyed blonde hair. He didn't know what it was, so the coach, John Chavis, went and got that YouTube, and it showed him what a Honey Badger does over there in Africa. Honey Badger don't care, and Matthew, now he loves it. There's T-shirts all over New Orleans and Baton Rouge. 2nd down and 6 now. The safeties are deep for LSU. McCarron on the move, throws on the run to the sideline.
Yeah, Kevin Norwood with another opportunity. The sophomore is making some plays. How about A.J. McCarron keeping the play alive, getting away from pressure? I tell you, he's a better athlete than I think people realize. It's 6'4", 205 pounds.
He had a great smile on his face after practice the other day, and he said, you know, I've just got to enjoy myself more. I've got to turn it loose, and that's what we've seen here tonight. 17-24. Here comes the blitz. Picked up. A.J. throws to Hanks, trying to break a tackle from Matthew, and he keeps going to the 23. 6 seconds on that clock.
Nick Saban's already called the timeout.
With 4 seconds. He's looking at where the ball is spotted and how far this field goal is going to be.
Tell you something, that's an impressive drive just to get into field goal range here. They're playing off of Hanks, and they'll tell you that he's their best route runner. He's matched up there with Tyrann Mathieu. Not only does he make the catch, but he fights with Matthew to pick up every yard that he can to help these poor field goal kickers out from Alabama. He's not giving up on that play.
And you saw Saban on the headset. They're making a decision as to who to use here. You know, in long field goals, it's been Cade Foster, but Shelley was impressive in pregame warmups, and he's going to trot out now. He has hit the 2 here tonight for Bama. Keep in mind that McCarron is the quarterback and holder. 4 seconds remaining. It'll get put down on the 32. Here comes a 42-yarder for Jeremy Shelley. Laces were spun beautifully, and he puts them up by 3 field goals.
Boy, A.J. McCarron, talk about emotion, seeing him run off the field. First half, he is without a doubt the MVP. That effort by playing quarterback, and as you said, spinning the laces there to give his kicker Shelley a chance.
So here's Tom Rinaldi with Coach down on the field. Tom.
Thanks very much. Nick, you've dominated the first half offensively. How do you translate that into touchdowns in the red zone?
Well, we've got to do a better job and score more points. I mean, it's a good football team. They play good in the second half. They play very well as a team. So, we're going to have to continue to do a good job defensively, but we need to score some touchdowns here.
Thanks very much, Nick. Appreciate it. Let's go over to Aaron.
Tom, thanks so much. Les, your offense just not clicking. How do you get them going in the second half?
We got to make our best calls. It's interesting. We had cadence issues, fumbled snaps. I mean, every possible mistake was made. What's got to happen at this point is we got to chuck that, and we got to go to those things that we came here to do.
All right, thanks so much, Brent.
Halftime of the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Alabama leads it by 3 field goals. Right back for the Buick Halftime Report with Chris Fowler in a moment.
Welcome to the Buick Halftime Report.
Bama and LSU have now played 6 quarters plus an overtime this season. Still no touchdowns, but Shelley is true on 3 field goals. LSU able to block 1. Folks who didn't love the first game stylistically, didn't want a rematch, are probably hating this. But we welcome you back, Chris Fowler, Gene Chizik, and Chip Kelly. Chip, you're the offensive guy. What would you do to get Jordan Jefferson going, and how would you describe him so far?
I think he's a little antsy, but with these 2 defenses, we've played 7 quarters of football, and we have 8 field goals. I mean, when you kind of look at it, but I think Jordan, you get in these big games, and I think sometimes you press a little bit. You go into the locker room at halftime, you kind of regroup. It's only a 9-point game. You got an opportunity to come back out, settle down a little bit, and then just stick with the plan that you've been working on for a month. We started last year against Sheen. Darren Thomas was a little antsy in the first quarter, but then settled down and really started to throw the ball well. That's what LSU has to do to get back on track here.
Where can they gain some traction, Gene? 43 total yards and 1 first down.
Well, I think they're searching right now. I think one thing that Les has to do, he has to go into the locker room and say, hey, guys, we can't play any worse right now. We've fumbled the ball on 3rd down a couple of times. We've gotten ourselves, when we're in a position to be 2nd and 3, we're 3rd and whatever. Yep. I mean, they're just, they got to settle down, and that's what they got to do.
That was Miles' biggest fear coming in, that his team tonight in this atmosphere would not resemble the team he has had all season, and they certainly haven't. And A.J. McCarron's been shown a great deal of trust by Jim McElwain. Lots of first down passes. He's got the rhythm going. You saw the confidence at the end of the half. So no touchdowns, but it's Bama will get the ball to start the second half and up 9-0.
This halftime report is presented by Buick. See real stories of human achievement on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick. Welcome back to the Buick Halftime Report.
Well, dominant defense has been the hallmark of Alabama national titles in this building in 79 and 92, and historically one of the most dominant regular season defenses we've ever seen is smothering a very shaky LSU offense. And Gene, you're concerned from the LSU perspective. Their defense has been out there for 41 plays in the first half. They're deep, but how deep?
Yeah, I would be concerned right now. It doesn't matter how deep you are. There's 2 things. Number 1, 41 plays in 1 half. That's a lot of plays. Number 2, the psyche of your defense. Right now, they're not sure they can get off the field, and that plays into the minds of every player on defense.
Bama has thrown on 16 of 18 first down plays. LSU's off balance. What would you expect differently? Who can provide a spark for LSU? They've been behind before, Chip, and come back.
They have. That's the unknown with LSU is they put themselves in some holes, but they always seem to dig themselves out of it. And Les is in there at halftime. They've got a couple adjustments going on, but this thing's far from over.
What would you do if you were coaching the LSU offense to try to create that spark, and assuming the special teams and defense can't do it?
I think you got to open it up a little bit. Ruben Randall hasn't really been a factor. I think that's a guy in the second half. You got to try to target him a little bit, get the ball in his hands, and see if he can make it work.
And I think they got to move the pocket. I think they got to move him around some, Chris. I think they got to move Jordan Jefferson. Very similar to what Alabama's doing on first down themselves. Get him out of the pocket, boot him out of there, sprint him out of there, do something to move the pocket. pocket a little bit and give him some options throwing the ball down the field.
And if you're Chief Chavis and that LSU defense, get ready for a steady diet of number 3 in the second half. We still don't know why he's not in there when Bama gets the ball close, though. Can you figure that out?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I can't figure out, but I will tell you this. He's the best back in the country in the second half. You got a 9-point lead and you're getting the ball at halftime. I guarantee you he'll get it in the second half.
If you're Bama's defense, what do you expect to see? Would you expect them to come out and make big adjustments, or are you just saying keep doing what you're doing?
I think that Alabama's going to expect them to go back to what they do. They go to 2 backs. They pound it some. They got to stick with a plan, Chris. They can't change everything at halftime. If their plan was to get on the perimeter, they got to still continue to try to get on the perimeter. I just think they got to move the ball around some in the quarterback's hands when he's attempting to throw the ball. And then you got to let the game plan unfold as you practiced it for the last 36, 37 days.
You'd love to hear what the LSU offensive brain trust is telling Jordan Jefferson. He grew up 20 miles from here. He won a state championship in high school in this building. It has been a nightmarish first half for the LSU quarterback in his return to a hometown. Just 1 first down, but all they need is a spark. We've seen plenty of rallies from LSU in the second half. Bama up 9-0. The second half coming up soon from the Superdome.
All right, I'm Dory Noka here at halftime of the All-State BCS National Championship game. Alabama leads 9-0. Now down here on the field, we welcome you to All-State's 60 Seconds of Mayhem. Congratulations to Jonathan Paulus from Woodstock, Georgia. Here's your quest. You've got up to 5 field goal attempts in a 60-second period to hit a 40-yard field goal. And if you do it, you will have conquered mayhem to win an RV, a motorcycle, a boat, and a home makeover. Are you ready, Jonathan?
Ready. Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right. We are going to begin right now. Okay, we're a little left there. Just a little left. He told me yesterday he doesn't get tired. We don't lose energy from one kick to the next. Got a little case of the hooks. Come on, let's root him on, guys. Let's go. That's got a chance. Come on, let's go. Cheer, 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 cheer. 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Jonathan Paulus, a great effort. Absolutely a great effort. By the way, he already won a car, so good for him. Enjoy the second half.
This halftime report is presented by Buick. See real stories of human achievement on the Buick Human Highlight Reel at ncaa.com/Buick.
Puts him up by 3 field goals.
Leaping catch. Tremendous effort.
I think Badger better care about that one. Block. That excites the LSU crowd. For more music, videos, and info about the movie Regeneration, coming out February 16th, go to ESPN.com/music as we welcome you back to the second half of the All-State BCS National Championship. The statistics tell the story, and for LSU, they are flat ugly. They have not been able to even cross midfield. As you take a look at our numbers right now, with Bama leading by 3 field goals here, Herbie.
I tell you, LSU should be very grateful that their defense has played well enough to keep them in the game. I mean, Bama hits the field goal there at the end of the half to make it a 2-possession game with 9 points. but it could be a lot worse considering how bad LSU's offense looked in the first half. If I'm Les Miles, I'm in there at halftime and say, fellas, we're 13-0 for a reason. We've been in these situations. We looked awful in Atlanta in the SEC championship. We turned it around and scored 35 straight in the second half against Georgia. We can find a way to do it again. But in order to do that, Les Miles needs somebody from his defense to make a play to give Jordan Jefferson and this offense a short field to work with. Give him some confidence and try to get the momentum back.
Meanwhile, Marquise Mays, the senior from Birmingham, has apparently played his last game for the Tide. Pulled a hamstring, returning a punt actually that set up their first field goal, and the young man very distraught on the sideline about his inability to come back on the field with his teammates.
An emotional guy, great leader for the Tide.
Coming out from deep in the end zone. And a strong return to the 30 by young Christian Jones, who has replaced Mays as the ace return man. And so Jones, the freshman, gives him a charge here to start the second half.
It'll be interesting to see how LSU tries to slow down this offense. A.J. McCarron, they took 18 first downs in the first half, 18 snaps. 16 of the 18 were passes. And they rolled him out with play action a lot of times to take advantage of that aggressive LSU defense. Got him outside, dumping out in the flat. Let's see what they can do to try to contain him and come after him a little bit more to try to create those turnover opportunities.
Richardson opens the second half as Williams and Smelly flex over to the right side of the offensive line. And McCarron on first down has been a thrower tonight over the Honey Badger to Hanks. Darius Hanks, who has become the go-to guy, and they burn number 7 on the first play from scrimmage for 19.
And great timing and rhythm between McCarron and Hanks. The ball is out of his hand by the time Hanks made the cut to the outside, and they're actually going after Matthew in man coverage.
Now that slip screen to the outside, and Bell catches an alley, and Bell in the foot race is out of bounds. Eric Reed chasing him, and the young man takes it all the way into the red zone right now for Bama.
Brett, watch Hanks on his block on Tyrann Mathieu to get him to the corner right there. Nice job with a catch and a play. The next play, Hanks comes up with a big block to spring Bell loose down the right sideline. Good effort there again by Hanks.
They're only at the 23 when he stepped out of bounds. So a little bit shy of what I had originally thought. And Richardson on the field right now here in the second half does get the first carry. So perhaps they were using Lacey to give him a little bit of a blow here for the second half, but he's staying on the field this time.
Keep him on the field. You get into plus territory, he's your difference maker. But Alabama there with a little bit of hurry up, maybe to try to slow down LSU, who you would think would want to come out aggressively, but they got on their heels in a hurry after that great throw by A.J. McCarron.
First down has bugged the Tide against LSU. Second down and 10. Wide open Hanks. And he is to the 18-yard line before he's brought down by Mentor, the linebacker.
Good job of bringing Hanks. They're moving him around now. Here he is in the backfield. They slip him out. Linebacker comes. Quick throw to the outside. You got a linebacker out there trying to deal with a wide receiver out in the flat.
So Jim McElwain, who after this game will become the head coach at Colorado State, is upstairs dialing in plays. There is Jim, young man from Missoula, Montana, out of Sentinel High School, quarterback at Eastern Washington, and here he is with a third down and 5. And he likes what he sees with McCarron throwing, deflected, and that was a chance for Eric Reed to pick it off, but he couldn't quite get there. Once the ball is deflected like that against the secondary, it's a real jump ball.
And it's tight windows, Brent. Great effort that time again by Benny Logan to knock that ball away. Reed, you're right, almost comes up with that big play, but give LSU and their defense some credit. They're giving up yards, but they're not giving up touchdowns.
So Jeremy Shelley for 35 yards this time. Slides it through from the right hash. Jeremy Shelley, 12, LSU, nothing. Here's the season-ending award. That's the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. And Alabama trying to come back and avenge their only setback of the season. And hold that Tiger. Look how he's disguised today as that honey badger, but he hasn't fooled the Crimson Tide.
LSU bench looking very dejected and concerned, and Jordan Jefferson, hope he realizes the importance of this drive, getting the ball to start this second half for the LSU offense.
That Claiborne, ever dangerous, but Alabama has done a great job of holding their lanes, forcing him back to the middle. Breaks out at the 20-yard line, and he is down at the 24. Terrific coverage, and a reminder, Wednesday night ESPN has an NBA doubleheader featuring some of the biggest names in the sport. We'll start it Wednesday night at 7:30, Mavericks and the Celtics. That's at 8 p.m. They'll tip it off, and that'll be followed by the Heat and the Clippers. A lot of interest in that Clipper team this year.
Unlike Alabama's success in the first half on first down, LSU was kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum. 6 first downs, only 13 yards of total offense. Put them in a lot of second and third and long situations. That's got to change.
LSU's been all over the map offensively. They haven't identified at all what they want to do here against this Tide defense. They'll roll on first down. Beckham's open, and they can't get it to him. Beckham was wide open that time.
This is what we talked about, Brent, taking a few shots downfield against the Crimson Tide defense and being aggressive. The freshman here, a little bit of a double move. He gets behind Kirkpatrick, but Lester, sitting back there in cover 2, is in that area. He's supposed to take out a wide receiver. But I'll tell you what, the angle that he took there, if Beckham was able to undercut that and hold on to the football, he might have been able to escape Lester and get to the end zone.
Now that Alabama defense licking its chops. They've got LSU in 2nd and 10 just where they want it. Gonna fire again, and they've got it this time. They hook up, and Lester did not get there on Beckham. And that gives the LSU bench a spark. For the first time, a little life down there. Some applause and big completion for 19 yards.
LSU's trying to attack right into this window right here. Kirkpatrick's going to slide up. Lester gets back. It provides a nice window right here where they're going to try to throw the football. And the fact that he didn't get anybody to slow him down, Kirkpatrick with his eyes to the inside of the offense made it pretty easy. And that was a nice throw that time by Jordan Jefferson.
Kirkpatrick pushes to the line. And now they come back with a running play. And Gentry makes the stop for the Tide at the 45-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd down. But again, Alabama's defense winning first down here against LSU. Now Kenny Hilliard, the freshman. There have been 4 running backs used by the Tigers. Spencer Ware, Michael Ford, Alfred Blue, and Kenny Hilliard. Hilliard, the bigger of the backs. Jefferson's in trouble. Brought down, sacked by Courtney Upshaw.
He's one of the top outside linebackers, defensive ends in the SEC and maybe the country. 41 comes from the backside. The right tackle, Alex Hurst, did not even look out. One guy you have to account for when you throw the football is number 41, and he gives you an idea how much speed he has coming off the edge there, 265 pounds.
Now Sunseri will come in as one of the safeties, and that will move Mark Barron up in support. So it is now 3rd down, and Jefferson in trouble on the move. And he is out of bounds, and this will force LSU to punt. Well short of the first down.
But a sack by Upshaw put LSU in that 3rd and long there against Alabama. That's not going to go well. They're now 0 for 6 on 3rd downs.
Now remember, they have a freshman. Christian Jones is back there. Here comes Brad Wing. Didn't even pick up an American football until just a few years ago. Came to high school in Baton Rouge. 15 years as an Australian rules player. Jones from the 10, and he is hit. The Gunnar Brooks down on top of him in a hurry, and there's a penalty flag. A late penalty flag came flying at the 10-yard line. Let's see if the tackle was up too high. He called a fair catch, I guess, is what the signal is down below, that he did signal for a fair catch, and Brooks didn't realize it. So that's a personal foul, obviously.
Personal foul.
I think Les Miles and the LSU bench saying that it wasn't so clear that he called the fair catch. That's what he's discussing with the officials downstairs.
He clearly moved his right arm.
Oh, yeah, it's a fair
to the
catch.
outside. There's no question about that. We'll be right back.
The Allstate BCS National Championship is brought to you by Allstate, the only car insurance with a claim satisfaction guarantee. Discover Card. It pays to switch. It pays to discover. Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And AT&T, an official sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series.
Preservation Hall. If you like jazz, you love that location in New Orleans. Rogers Redding, who is in our booth, the national coordinator of officials, said that that was a legal fair catch signal and that should have been respected. So it is first down and 10. A.J. McCarron and Alabama up by 4 field goals. McCarron going to go deep. Caught at the 49-yard line. Kevin Norwood again has stepped up huge tonight.
He did it in the first half when Mays went down, and it continues in the second half. A post corner. The ball is thrown perfectly by A.J. McCarron. I'll tell you, he's getting very comfortable with that route, throwing it early and putting it right over the shoulder of the receiver, away from the defender, to make some big plays for this offense.
24 yards for the sophomore from Mississippi.
And they continue to throw the football on 1st and 10 against man-to-man coverage.
McElwain has been thrown on first down all night long. And he's not stopping. Now McCarron rolls, throws deep downfield, and Hanks was open on the sideline, and he overthrew it. They couldn't connect. Hanks broke free, and A.J. spotted him, but they couldn't connect.
Again, buys a little bit more time, and Brent, you're right, the defense, because of the time that McCarron was able to pick up with the scramble, they just lost it. They lost him in coverage. He snuck behind Simon there, and he's got right down the sideline. He was all alone.
Honey Badger comes off the bench to come back on the field, and they've got him as a nickel man. He's looking at Hanks at the bottom of your screen, number 7, press coverage here. Second down and 10.
That's exactly what A.J. McCarron sees, is that man-to-man coverage by the LSU defense.
And they'll run against it with Richardson. And he is jumped for a loss. So this will be 3rd down and long. And so far, the defense of LSU is holding after that big first down catch by Kevin Norwood.
Where they like to, LSU likes to bring in Ron Brooks. Ron Brooks and Tyrann Mathieu off the edges have had a lot of success bringing pressure and blitzing and getting to quarterbacks and creating pressure, and a lot of times creating turnovers.
Third down and 11. Up over to Smelly, and Alabama is forced to punt. So the pressure was coming that time from Simon off the left side. Simon was coming in on McCarron. McCarron read it, saw him coming, hit Smelly there, but they're going to have to punt the ball.
LSU defense gets to stop, gets the ball back to LSU. You start to think about this if you're an LSU fan watching at home. Jordan Jefferson is in a funk so far in this game. Do they start to think about Jarrett Lee? Are they going to ride it all the way with Jordan Jefferson?
Here's the first thing they're thinking about. Can the Honey Badger give him a punt return? Can he ignite this team? He's standing back on the 10. Mandel is the punter. Will they even give him a chance? Fair catch, and it hits the player, that's Kirkpatrick, had the coverage. He was the gunner. And had he stayed on the other side of the goal line, he might have stopped it inside the 5. Honey Badger did a good job that time of signaling for the fair catch late. Kirkpatrick loses it. He was so intent on number 7, and it'll come out to the 20. Telecast available in 3D on ESPN 3D, brought to you by Vizio. Fans are here at the Bud Light viewing party in New Orleans, experiencing the latest technology firsthand. And speaking of fans, many who are not here have taken to Bourbon Street. As you see a shot of that famous street here in New Orleans from the Royal Sonesta Hotel down in the French Quarter. And for some, the party already is underway. J.C. Copeland and now Michael Ford will try it. Jordan Jefferson stays in at quarterback. And here comes the option. Here is Ford. Could not get to the edge. And that was Jarrell Harris, the linebacker.
Well, Jordan Jefferson is struggling on this option. It's a big part of their offense in their first matchup. Watch how he pitches off of Harris 5. And then Harris goes out and makes the play. When you're attacking a defensive end or an outside linebacker, make him completely commit to you. There's no way you can pitch off of a man, and then he runs down the line and makes the play on the back. Completely disrupts the timing and the rhythm of the option attack.
This great defense dominating first down. Spencer Ware coming in. Need a dozen to get to the first down marker. Jefferson. Interception, threw it away. A horrible mistake. Mosley's got it. Bama is in business again.
Well, tremendous play here. And again, LSU and Jordan Jefferson. He just throws the ball up, just trying to shovel pass here as he started the scramble. He starts to panic. He has time to make a throw. There's Ware helping out. Then he kind of sneaks out. Ware thinks he's going to take off and run with it. Just kind of flips it. And Mosley with a big injury there. Jefferson just thought Ware would stay with him. Ware started the block. Mosley makes the play for the big interception.
So Mosley receiving medical treatment here. The only good thing that Jefferson did on that play was it was a strong tackle. But that's a horrible mistake. So we'll take a break. Alabama is in business on the LSU 27-yard line. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Well, C.J. Mosley has been carted off the field, and terrific young player, young linebacker. And last year he was a consensus freshman All-American. He has a wonderful future. We hope he's going to be okay. So now, the second Alabama drive to start inside the 30 of LSU. Remember that punt return by Mays. And what's ironic is that on both the plays that set up this field position, key players were injured. Mays has not returned after the punt return. Now Mosley, after the interception, is forced to leave the field. And it will be A.J. McCarron. This time handed to Richardson. Lost the yard, gave it up on that particular play.
A rare run on 1st and 10 for Nick Saban in a tied offense.
Tried to catch him by surprise that time and gave up ground. And Les Miles has got to be thinking now, do I go to Jarrett Lee or do I stick with Jordan Jefferson?
Yes, we said that a little earlier. It's interesting, the crowd here, they're trying to get involved, helping Les Miles make that decision with the Jarrett Lee chance, and he's actually starting to warm up.
Starting to loosen up for the first time that we've seen Herbie. And here is Richardson. Banged out of bounds on the near side at about the 24-yard line.
You start to look big picture. You got 6:18 to go in the third quarter. You're down 12. This is obviously another situation where LSU has to rely on their defense. They cannot give up a touchdown here. You hold them to a field goal attempt, even if they make it. There's Jared Lee stretching out. Even if they make the field goal, it's at a 15, still a two-possession game, theoretically.
Absolutely, with the two-point conversion. Third down and 7 now. So here we go. Needs to reach the 17-yard line. McCarron fires and miscommunication, incomplete. And here comes the one-man scoring gang for this game, Mr. Shelley. Jeremy Shelley is a junior from Raleigh, North Carolina. Talk about a young man who's having a redemptive night. That 42-yarder he missed, if you weren't with us, was blocked by a lineman. 23 was the first one to put him ahead. They've never been behind. This one from the left hash. Here comes a 41-yarder. Misses to the right. Now LSU very much in the thick of things here. If they can mount any kind of an offense against the #1 defense in the country.
He hits it good. He just pushes it to the right. And LSU's defense yet again makes the stops and forces the field goal to get the ball back to this Tigers offense. You know, we've not seen a spark of energy from LSU on this side of the ball since maybe the pregame. The team running around with confidence, and Jordan Jefferson ends up coming out.
And boos from the crowd. LSU has not crossed midfield. Hilliard checks in with Ford, so Hilliard will be the fullback. Quick pitch to Beckham on the outside, and Beckham to the 27, and Harris making another stop.
This defense can run. Quick throw to the young receiver to the outside, and not only dealing with cornerbacks and safeties, but the linebackers and the defensive linemen are running to help in pursuit. LSU has got to continue to be aggressive, trying to attack the Alabama secondary with some quick throws by Jordan Jefferson.
Bama shows blitz and backs out of it. Oh, Randall shook off Kirkpatrick, and then he is thrown down at the 26-yard line. They want to throw the screen on the other side, and Lester.
Here's the view from our DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Just a quick throw. The unfortunate thing is right now, Alabama doesn't feel threatened with the vertical passing game from Jordan Jefferson. They're squeezing down on these shorter throws. Kirkpatrick is there in a hurry. Randall was lucky he held on to the football.
Now third down and 8 coming up. And LSU is 0 for 6 on third downs. 0 for 6. Where is the running back? Sacked. Can't get it off. Down at the 17-yard line. The Tide rolling. Gentry in on the quarterback.
Jordan Jefferson a bit rattled here. Third down. He's got to think, I got to get the ball out of my hands in a hurry. And off to his left there, he actually had a receiver breaking free if he would have been ready to get rid of the football. Kadron Boone from the left coming over to the right. If he would have thrown that ball on time, he had a chance at least to get a shot at a first down.
Spencer Ware could not pick him up with the block, and Gentry just continued to power in. Now Jones is back deep for Bama. Not one of Wing's better punts. From the 38, Alley in the middle. Jones still on his feet. And he's to the 47-yard line. The freshman with some fine returns. Also picked up a personal foul penalty. And we remind you that Super Tuesday presented by KFC begins this week on ESPN. Speaking of the SEC, Georgia, Florida will be the opening game, followed by the Big Ten, Ohio State, and Illinois.
Outstanding field position for the Crimson Tide. See if they can take advantage of it here.
Lacey will be the running back for the Tide. 59 yards of offense tonight for LSU, 306 for Alabama. Lacey breaks to the second level, and a fine first down run, still moving the pile. That was some run by Eddie Lacy, the sophomore, as he just would not be stopped. And Alabama's got a first down at the 36.
How nice is it to bring in your backup tailback to give you this kind of effort? Looks like he's down, and LSU's just trying to strip the ball, and by trying to strip the ball, you're not going to make a tackle. He just keeps moving that his legs and picks up that first down. Tremendous effort.
Lacey again to the middle. And again, he's breaking to the second level. This time to the 25 for another first down. Back-to-back tremendous power runs by Lacey.
You wonder if the way this game is going is starting to take an effect on the LSU defense's psyche. He breaks through that potential arm tackle by Anthony Johnson. The true freshman defensive tackle had a shot at him, but he runs right through the arm tackle. And again, maybe fatigue, mental and physical fatigue potentially setting in on LSU.
Gibson flanked out to the right. Now they bring Smelly over to the left side of the formation. And he'll come again with Lacey. Can't get the corner. Going to be throwing for a loss on that play. Mingo made the stop for the Tigers. Negative yardage on first down.
They were able to set the edge that time. They did not give Eddie Lacy the corner. Pushed him back to the inside where the speed of the LSU defense was able to corral him. I mean, they've been moving A.J. McCarron when he has thrown the football. A lot of bootlegs, a lot of nakeds, moving away from potential pressure from LSU.
Richardson is now the Alabama running back. He's a fine receiver. Norwood has been big tonight. Play action. McCarron fires middle to the 1-yard line. Incomplete. It's being waved off by the field judge. Field judge came quickly up. Gibson was the intended receiver.
Boy, what a huge play that Eric Reed made in the first matchup between these teams. And this time, he is able to dislodge this football. And I think it comes down right towards the end, right before he gets to the ground. The impact from Reed on Gibson, he's able to separate him from that ball.
Scott Gaines, the field judge from the Big 12, was right there. And Eric Reed may have been shaken up a little bit. Eric Reed made the biggest play of this football season. Now he comes up with another one, as Herbie told you. Here's your third down and 10. And a timeout is called by Alabama. And A.J. McCarron's not happy about it.
30-second timeout.
So we're going to take you back to the play that Herbie mentioned. Tuscaloosa on November 5th. Mays from the Wildcat fires to Williams, but it was Reed who took it away on the 1-yard line for the interception. Now, Herbie, tell everybody why he was there.
It's amazing. Brandon Gibson runs the wrong route to bring him over to the play. He comes off of man-to-man coverage on Gibson. The ball thrown by Mays is fluttering, and he has time to be able to adjust back and be able to make the play of the year for the Tigers defense.
And who knows about tonight?
Yeah, this could end up being, again, there's Gibson involved in the play. Reed's there, able to get him away from that football. It was a big, big hit there by Eric Reed.
And the Tide faces a third down and 10. Richardson stays on the field. Norwood, who's been a target, will come to the slot on the right. The Honey Badger, the nickel man, is looking at Norwood. Third down and 10. Smelly goes to that side. In trouble. Shakes it. McCarron dives. And here comes that man, Jeremy Shelley again.
So impressed with A.J. McCarron. This year is a first-year starter taking over for Greg McElroy. You waited for the moment that he might have. Look at this effort here. where he might just grow up and this team starts to become his. Tonight, this is the first time I've watched him play all year where he just seems to be able to come up with answers. And this may not seem like a huge play, but the fact he was able to scramble up there and get a few yards gives him, again, a chance here for another field goal attempt.
So here is a 45-yarder. It has been a little bit out of his comfort zone at times. I'm going to officially say it's a 44-yarder. McCarron puts it down for him, and he bangs on it. Got it! A 44-yarder for Jeremy Shelley. That's a career long. A career long. Puts Bama up 15-0. And now the heat is really on LSU.
Talk about how when you're a kicker, I think it has so much to do with your mindset and your confidence. And right now, with all these kicks that Shelley's been able to make, I think he's approaching these kicks with a different edge about him and a different approach as he gets a chance. And Nick Saban has worked so hard on these kickers in their preparation after what happened in the first matchup and trying to keep them confident. I'm going to go to you. Did it earlier with Cade Foster tonight, and Shelley's been able to step up and make some plays for him.
Well, he took over from an All-American, Lee Tiffin. And certainly Shelley has handled most of the field goals for Coach Saban inside the 40. But tonight, Coach had confidence in him, and he steps up big for Alabama. And it's 15-0 right now. Cade Foster will put the ball on the tee. And I want you to watch this coverage by this Alabama kickoff team. They have swallowed Claiborne so far tonight. He's back there with Ron Brooks. This is a well-coached football team from Tuscaloosa. So here's Claiborne from a yard deep, trying to get a left return. Nothing doing. Down at the 21-yard line, Sunseri, who's a devil coming down from right 3, was right there. This, ladies and gentlemen, has been the year of the field goal kicker. So many missed opportunities. Bama missed 4 in that first game when they lost. Boise State might have played for a national championship, or Oklahoma State. How about Oregon's miss? Then Stanford the other night in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And Virginia Tech missing 1 right here in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Kenny Hilliard will try it with Ware. Still no change at quarterback, even though the Baton Rouge natives are growing restless. Fires low, and it is complete to the 29-yard line. D'Angelo Peterson's first catch of the night. Let's check it down below with Tom Rinaldi. Tom.
Well, Brent, after that field goal was successfully made, A.J. McCarron, the quarterback, and the holder on their field goals limped off the field. He's being treated medically. His right leg being rubbed down right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we head into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he's telling everybody that he's all right there, Tom, on the bench, but we will. Nick Saban went right up to him as he came off. 1 quarter left for Jordan Jefferson. The sands of time running out in New Orleans. Welcome back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. With Kirk Herbstreit, Tom Rinaldi, and Aaron Andrews, I'm Brent Musburger. Another field goal battle, but this time Alabama has all 5 of them. LSU can't get across midfield, being stoned by this Alabama defense, which has yielded only 8.8 points a game, best of the decade, and they're closing in on another one. Helmets come flying against this defense. Herbie, it's amazing. Alabama leads in total defense, rush defense, pass efficiency D, third down defense. It is incredible when you watch these players.
Yeah, 2 years ago, they had an outstanding defense led by Rolando McClain. Last year, they had a lot of talent, but they were young. Nick Saban this year using the experience. You could see the year. All you have to know is their defense allowed 9 touchdowns on the season. I think Clemson gave up more than that in just their bowl game the other night.
3rd down and 1 now. Ford has checked in for LSU. They'll go to the short man and Hilliard, and it wasn't easy. The freshman lined up the big back, and LSU had been 0 of 7 on 3rd.
But I don't know if I've ever, in all the years of watching LSU football, ever seen an LSU team as lifeless as this football team. Alabama has just come after them and taken, look at this, look at the attitude. You've never seen LSU look like this.
Michael Ford stays in as the LSU running back. Battles his way to the 36-yard line, picking up maybe 4 yards on that 1st down run. Let's check in now with Aaron Andrews. Aaron?
Herbie, just to add, and Brent, on your comment about LSU looking lifeless, coaches are urging them to get some sort of energy down here.
Alfred Blue, the running back. Jefferson on the roll, and he's going to step out of bounds short of that 1st down. They have just taken everything away from LSU tonight. Alabama is not giving them a thing.
No, you talk
They're
about
playing like the 50-yard line's the goal line.
They still haven't crossed that 50-yard line either. Just incredible the way they took advantage of these 44 days. Kirby Smart, the defensive coordinator, Nick Saban. Up to this point, there's nothing that LSU can do to try to move the football.
Remember the name Kirby Smart. He's going to be the next one to leave Coach Saban's staff down the road. He's a great young coach. Got to hurry with the clock coming down. And nothing doing. Copeland, the fullback. Gentry again. He's blowing up the middle of that offensive front.
You know, all the names like Josh Chapman and Jesse Williams, Damian Square. But I'll tell you, a guy that's been able to make as many plays for this Alabama front is Nick Gentry, the senior. Just a grinder as a defensive lineman, uses his leverage in his hands, and that time slipped right by the guard on a short 3rd down attempt there by LSU.
Beware the Mad Hatter. If Alabama doesn't show a good defensive front on this play, Brad Wing is fully capable of taking off. But there's a couple of linebackers back there, and they don't give it to him. So here comes Jones over and out of bounds. What a good pair of hands for a return man. It'll be Alabama ball at the 17. Nick Saban closing in on a 3rd national championship. Aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And the DirecTV mobile studio has completed its drive to the national championship. Live shots, coverage of both teams all week long. Look for it again soon on campuses across the country. DirecTV mobile studio is fired up for spring football in April. 1st down and 10, Trent Richardson, the running back. A.J. McCarron, hands, and the Saban gang goes to work on the clock.
Well, A.J. McCarron tonight has done a lot of things at under center as a quarterback, but tonight, let's take a look at tonight's good hands play brought to you by Allstate, and it's him as a holder. I mean, he's had 5 different occasions where he's out there trying to make sure kickers are so finicky. Jeremy Shelley wants that perfect hold, and he's been able to provide that for him. So McCarron getting it done on special teams as a holder and obviously leading this team as a quarterback.
2nd and 8. Working on the clock with Richardson. You know, never has there been a shutout in a BCS bowl game, much less a BCS title game. The closest we came was Oklahoma jumping Florida State 13-2. And Miami did defeat Nebraska in a national title game back in '92. They have not let the Tigers across midfield here tonight. This is one of the great defensive performances of all time. 7 quarters these two teams have battled this year. Not a single touchdown yet. Down goes McCarron. Minter all over him at the 10-yard line.
LSU brought pressure, and it frees up Minter. See the outside, both the outside linebackers came. Richardson was occupied because of pressure. Barrow also came, but Minter's the one who gets home. And this is where LSU typically can make something happen. That time they didn't get the fumble. Let's see if Matthew can give him a big return.
They got a shot to cross midfield on this part. Matthew is standing back on the LSU 43. Cody Mandel, the sophomore, kicks it over to the left side. Takes an Alabama bounce. Honey Badger picks it up dangerously. Honey Badger fears no man, but that time the tide rolled all over him. That was Kirkpatrick, the gunner, who got down. They've been working Kirkpatrick as the gunner all week long. And this is what they wanted. A piece of the Honey Badger. Fear the tide, Honey Badger.
We played.
The All-State BCS National Championship is brought to you by Allstate. Play the All-State Championship Challenge at allstatechallenge.com. Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Nissan. Proud partner of the Heisman Trophy. And Vizio. Delivering entertainment freedom for all.
That's the Voodoo Spiritual Temple, established in 1990 by Priestess Miriam. If they've got any good vibrations for this LSU offense, which has gone no further than the 47. Richardson over there on the Alabama sideline right now. Spencer Ware is the running back. And here comes Ware. He bangs to the 40, so they're within 10 yards of midfield.
Trying to get there. You know, a lot of people look at this LSU offense. They haven't been to midfield. You think, why not make a quarterback change? Why isn't Jarrett Lee in there to try to give him a spark? Well, Jarrett Lee's had his chances in his career. Couple starts against Alabama. Look at those last two numbers. 1 touchdown and 7 interceptions. That might have a lot to do with why he's still on the sideline, and they're counting on Jordan Jefferson.
Only 9:15 remaining. Jefferson. No first down. It'll be 3rd down. Fairly manageable this time as DePriest comes up. I mean, not only are the ones making tackles, Mosley, of course, is out, but now the 2s and the 3s are chipping in for Coach Nick Saban. What a fabulous job he has done along with Kirby Smart. When we went to practice, Kirby, Saban never took his eye off the defense. Never even looked at one snap offensively. Left it up to McElwain. Stampley in now is the fullback, and here comes Hilliard. Here comes Power, looking for that first down, looking for anything good to happen. Toss play. Hilliard, freshman, busts through, keeps going. Can he get the 50? Thrown just short of it. My goodness, give me something to get excited about. I promise some touchdowns tonight. Look at this, more field goal.
Well, 3rd and short. It's just a battle in the trenches there. Power play follows Williford around there to pick up the first down. They go with their power back. And Kenny Hilliard's able to give them the first down, but that's not going to get them on the board. They need touchdowns. They got to get the ball downfield.
Here comes pressure picked up. Jefferson forced to take off. 45-40. Splits up the middle and down to the 31-yard line. And that's the most penetrating offense that the Tigers have had here, 17 yards.
First time I've seen Jordan Jefferson run aggressively. They brought both the linebackers, Nico Johnson, Dante Hightower. Once he escaped them, he recognized a huge void in the middle of the defense, and look how he didn't hesitate. He just took off. First time he's done it all game.
So across the 50 for the first time today. Ball at the Tide 32-yard line. Running the option. Didn't run it decisively. Pitch to the man who's stretched out of bounds.
All year, you've seen Jordan Jefferson run the option from the shotgun. Well, tonight he's run some from under center. Here's our view from the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam. Again, he attacks Harris, but Harris is involved in being able to make the tackle. Also a great job by Daquan Menzie getting off the block attempt that time by Ruben Randall to get involved as well. option has not worked for LSU tonight.
Spencer Ware. He's the running back. Second down and 13 for the Tigers. Penalty flag. Stops play. It's a false start. Another mistake. You know that Alabama has played this game without one penalty. There has not been one penalty called against the Crimson Tide here in this football game tonight. This is a very special defensive performance, and we cannot overlook McCarron going 23 for 34. The only thing he hasn't done is stick into the end zone. He lost his go-to receiver back in the early part of this game.
It's been very efficient offense, not been able to punch it in, but they still have been able to get into pretty good field goal range. But the defense has just been a huge story, obviously, and what they've been able to do to Jordan Jefferson.
Jefferson back. Incomplete. And Jefferson's complaining that his receiver was pulled down on the play.
Well, Brent, it was a tremendous effort actually by Nick Gentry, the backup nose guard who was in there. Watch him get around the block. He gets a hand there on Spencer Ware. Spencer Ware behind the line of scrimmage there, trying to set up the screen, and Gentry sniffs it out there.
Third down from the 40-yard line. There obviously had to be an offensive player, or we'd have had intentional grounding called. So on third down, Jefferson wings it deep, incomplete. Pressure was coming again. Young Sinceri was on the field, and the pass was to Jarvis Landry, the freshman.
Sinceri off the left edge, a true freshman. He's playing high school football last year as a linebacker. He gets the pressure on Jordan Jefferson. If he would have had a little bit more time, he had his own true freshman, Jarvis Landry, one-on-one against Menzie, and he had a step on him. Just didn't have enough time to make the accurate throw.
Sinceri's brother, the quarterback at Pittsburgh. Fourth down. Fourth down and going. That could be a fumble. Hightower got in on him. Dante Hightower ripped it loose. That's a fumble. Turn it over. Look at the Tide. Celebrating now. 6-15, up 15, dominating with this defense. This is a mauling, folks, a mauling. Number 30, one of the great linebackers. He'll play a long time in the National Football League. Rips it loose. A teammate falls on it. And I believe it was Gentry, who's had a whale of a game, who's able to get his body over on the football for Nick Saban. We welcome you back to the 2012 All-State BCS National Championship. Alabama closing in on the first shutout in any BCS bowl, including the championship game. And the young man, Gentry, fell on that fumble. There's Dante Hightower. He was a lot finalist this year. Simply one of the great all-around football players on this Alabama team, and a gentleman off. First down and 10. Richardson on a bit of a delay.
Brent, I know you can appreciate this. Dante Hightower plays the middle linebacker, but on third down situations, they'll move him to defensive end. Now, what he does here to Alex Hurst is instead of coming out wide, he actually fights him to the inside. I think he catches the right tackle by surprise with his suddenness and how quick he moved to the inside. And then look how he keeps, after he knocks the ball away, he fights to keep Jordan Jefferson away from the football to give Gentry enough time to pounce on the football for the turnover.
Now there is the young man sitting on the bench.
Very versatile defensive end. Versatile linebacker. Can play him at defensive end on third downs, which will help him at the next level, that versatility.
I want to remind everybody to stay tuned for the Ford BCS postgame show immediately following tonight's game. So second down. Alabama working on the clock now, leading by 15 points. Karen rolling hard to the left. He's going to take it himself. Dive forward. So McCarron on that sideline. He's been a bundle of energy tonight.
Watch the defense flow. Everybody thinks they're killing the clock. Trent Richardson's going to get it. They're not going to run the bootleg. Look at A.J. McCarron with the wheels and the presence of mind to stay in bounds. But this is going to be a run all the way. He got to the corner, got around Sam Montgomery, picked up the first down, and then stayed in bounds. But showing again that athletic ability that I think may be surprising some people tonight.
So A.J. McCarron, only a sophomore. Now they come back with the Doak Walker Award winner, and he stays in bounds too. So well coached. Eric Reed making the stop, and the youngsters who have stepped up big. There are the sophomores, and you can see that they all lost in the BCS National Championship game, but A.J. McCarron can break that streak. He can become the first sophomore and freshman to win the BCS championship. He is within 5 minutes. DeAndrew White, one of the wide receivers, is now out to the right. Jim McElwain calling the plays, hammering away at the clock right now. And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Finally, a touchdown between these two. The 8th quarter of warfare between Alabama and LSU, and Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmitt Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida, and he surely will head for the National Football League next season. Probably will be the first running back drafted. Buddy Shelley hits the right upright, no good.
We had to have a missed extra point, right, with a touchdown. We had to have something. Look at this. Somebody's going to see the score tomorrow and think, oh, there are 3 touchdowns scored. How about that?
There is Ingram. Of course, Richardson backed him up for a couple of years on Ingram's way to a Heisman Trophy.
Well, the left side of the offensive line just blew LSU off the ball, sealed the edge, and number 3 finally gets to the outside with some running room.
Bang! There are a lot of LSU fans headed for Bourbon Street as you look from the balcony of the Royal Sonesta Hotel over in the quarter. There are all kinds of empty seats. They do not want to see the awarding of the trophy to one of their arch rivals. Beckham is back deep with Brooks. So they'll give Beckham a chance on this kickoff return. And then we'll see if Lee cleans up this game in his last appearance for LSU. And Ron Brooks was the return man that time. Back to the touchdown.
Now Trent Richardson is able to get some great blocks on the left side. They just covered everybody up from the LSU defense, but the vision to bounce this outside and follow the blocking. Michael Williams, the tight end, kind of sealed the edge on the block against Barrow. But this is classic Trent Richardson. Feel it, bounce it, get to the outside, and then he's got the speed to be able to take it into the end zone.
Alfred Blue will be Jordan Jefferson's running back. So it will be Jefferson who will take it home here for LSU. Down by 3 touchdowns. And it'll be second down and 10.
You know, Alabama is known for how they pressure, how they blitz you. They've done some blitzing on third down, but for the most part, Brent, it's just been the front four from Alabama just getting pressure and beating LSU's offensive linemen up.
Let's take you back to Pasadena 2 years ago. Marcel Darius drove Colt McCoy out of the game with an injury in the first quarter. Bama won the national championship. Tonight, they've made Jordan Jefferson basically invisible in this game as Dante Hightower comes up with the play on Spencer Ware. So another awesome defensive performance against an opposing quarterback by the Crimson Tide.
Outstanding defense combined with very poor offensive play and quarterback play from LSU. LSU has not been aggressive offensively. You thought it might change from the first matchup to this game, but Jordan Jefferson has just not been able to get into a rhythm tonight.
And he's down at the 19-yard line. Hightower again, number 30.
And this time they did bring the pressure. This time they get him to third down and long, and they decide to dial it up and put the heat on him, which is what they're known for. The offensive line, I don't want to put this all on Jordan Jefferson. The offensive line, especially on third downs, just getting overmatched up front physically, and at times, as in that case, just getting lost on who to pick up because of how complicated Alabama's coverage can be and how their blitz package is.
Now watch out, Christian Jones would like to turn it loose here on Brad Wing. Penalty flag. You saw the movement on that side. Even the kicking game has gone sour on LSU. That ball went out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
Offside on the defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Replay, fourth down.
That's the first penalty of the night, and Nick Saban was not happy about it. The perfectionist. Leading 21-0. 2:58. Had the ball near the middle of the field. Could have perhaps crushed the clock. And instead, they've got to do it again and give Wing a second chance. 24/7 football coach. Jones lays off it again.
Even worse this one. This one was worse than the previous punt. Close to midfield.
On only a 27-yard punt. Back in 1931. The Tide shut out Washington State. 1963 Orange Bowl. Blanked Oklahoma. Now they're closing in on a BCS championship and the second in 3 years for Nick Saban. And you've got to wonder, have they finally found the coach that can make them forget the Bear? Nah, we'll never forget the Bear. One of the greatest of all times. How much fun we had hanging around with him, huh, folks? That great gravelly voice. Didn't he love this? Here comes Lacey now working on the clock. Eric Reed makes the stop. You know, Alabama will be without an offensive coordinator as soon as this game ends. That's right. Jim McElwain will head to Fort Collins. He'll be the next coach at Colorado State. The rumors are that Brent Pease will be leaving Boise State as their offensive coordinator. But guess what? There's a tug of war between Florida and Alabama for Pease's services. Brent Pease was once the offensive coordinator at Montana. He also knows Saban from his days as a backup quarterback with the Houston Oilers when Nick was an assistant on that staff.
My agent on line 2 on that one for Brent Pease. That's a pretty good tug of war to be involved in.
Oh, isn't that the truth? And see off here, Herbie. And it will be third down. They got the clock down to the final 2 minutes, and it just seems inevitable now. And you know, we've got a couple of minutes. And I want to say something to all the fans in Tuscaloosa. You suffered a great deal back in April. That tornado ripped through. There were deaths, great destruction. This football team came together, helped a lot of people in that town. And I dare say this is for you. This one on behalf of Saban and the players is going to be for the great folks in Tuscaloosa. Hand off to Lacey. Clock continues to run. What a night. Not a single turnover. Only one penalty. That came on a punt here tonight. They have completely dominated this game. They have held LSU to under 100 yards of offense. They have 381. And what is it about Alabama for the third straight year? That trophy is going back. Twice with the Tide, and of course last year with Auburn.
Amazing. It's amazing to think about the legend of Nick Saban and how it just continues to grow after the championship 2 years ago. What this defense was able to do tonight to lead them to yet another national championship for the Crimson Tide.
So on fourth down.
Remember last time in the championship, they hit him over the head when they tried to get the water? Let's see if he told them, be careful this time, fellas.
Alabama gets a second chance and makes the most of it. They win the BCS championship behind Coach Nick Saban and quarterback A.J. McCarron. If it hadn't been so decisive, you would wonder if the Associated Press would vote LSU #1. But after what they've seen here tonight, there is no way that anybody can vote a team better than what we looked at with the Crimson Tide. Look at Nick down there with the middle of it. He enjoys the bath this year. 2 years ago, he tried to keep him off the bath. Look at that rascal. Let's go down now to Tom Rinaldi.
Thanks very much. Before I get to the defensive effort and performance, you saw the Gatorade shower this time. You reacted a little differently. What'd you do?
I loved it. I loved it.
How would you describe the effort of your defense in this game?
Well, I think it was a great team win. I think our defense did a great job, but I'm telling you what, our offense controlled the momentum and the tempo of this game from start to finish. Did a great job on special teams. That's just a great team win. Every guy here, every fan that we have, every supporter in our program, this is great for Alabama.
What was the difference in A.J. McCarron tonight?
Well, you know, A.J. wasn't quite himself in the first game. And, you know, we knew that he was going to have to play well because we knew we were going to throw the ball on first down a lot. And he did a fantastic job in this game. And he showed great leadership and poise in making good decisions.
When you lost November 5th, a lot of your players credited the way you handled walking into that locker room and the message that you delivered to them. What did you say that night that helped this night be possible, man?
Well, I told the guys, I said, we got to finish things right. That's our character. That's what we do. And if we do it right, we may get another opportunity. And if we get another opportunity, let's make sure we're doing all the things that every day that we're going to be able to take advantage of it.
I know it's about the program and the players. I know you love them. But for you, first coach to win 3 national titles in the BCS era.
I didn't know that.
What does that mean to you?
Well, you know what? Right now, I'm just so happy for our players and our team and my family and all of our fans and the University of Alabama that, you know, it really isn't about me. It's about all those folks. It's a lot bigger than that. LSU's got a great team. They've got a great team. And it really kind of too bad that there's 2 great teams in our league this year and in the same year.
Finally, Nick, I know Tuscaloosa has been through a great deal, and you and your team have been very involved. It's just a football game and a victory. But what message do you hope to send to that town tonight?
Well, I think it gives everybody a lot of joy and spirit and hope, you know, that we're going to continue to work and move forward and try to help people restore their lives in our community. But things like this make everybody happy and give them a lot of hope.
Nick, congratulations, a great win. Aaron?
Tom, thanks so much. I'm here with linebacker Courtney Upshaw, just putting on that national championship hat. Tide defense shutting out LSU. What was the difference in the rematch tonight with their offense?
They're slowing down their run. We knew they were going to come in and try to run the ball, and they're a tough physical team, but I got to say we out physical them today, and I'm just happy to get that win.
Courtney, how were you guys able to get so much pressure tonight on Jordan Jefferson?
Well, we actually didn't really call too many blitzes. We just, we got this little thing what we call mush rush and try to contain him, and he slipped out a couple times, but once we got the opportunity to get him, we got him, so that's what we did.
This defense said in the first game there was a lot of mental lapses, and that's why you weren't successful. What was the focus this time around?
Just to go out and execute, especially on that option. We basically stopped the option all night once they tried to run it, and that was a big key to the game.
Trent Richardson said in the first press conference this week this team had a chip on their shoulder because many people felt like they shouldn't be here. How's that shoulder feeling?
It feels real good. I mean, we knew that a lot of people didn't expect us to be in this game or didn't want us here and thought that LSU was just going to run the ball down our throats, especially on defense. And we just want to come out and execute. I'm just happy. I don't care what nobody says. I'm happy. I'm proud to be a part of Bama.
Go celebrate with your teammates. Congratulations. Brent, over to you.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. You have to go back to 2002 before you can find an LSU team shutout. And guess who did it? November 16th, 2002, Alabama, 31-0. So we will come back and award the trophy to Alabama, the BCS National Champion. Back with the Ford post-game show and the presentation presented by Dr. Pepper right after this.
Welcome to the Ford BCS postgame show.
The Gatorade math for the winning coach, Nick Saban. 2 BCS championships within the last 3 years. And another trophy will be headed to Tuscaloosa as we go down below to John Saunders. John?
Well, Brent, thanks a lot. We're here once again. Seems like we just did this a couple of years ago. First of all, we should say congratulations to Les Miles and LSU on a terrific college football season. But now it's time to celebrate the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Let's bring in the head coach. Nick Saban still coaching. He's still orchestrating his team, trying to get the right people on the stage. Nick, if you could please come up. We'll talk to you in a moment, but first of all, Bill Hancock, who is the commissioner of the BCS, and we first would like to say thank you from Allstate for putting on another terrific national championship game. Would like to present you with the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper.
Thank you, John. Coach, first of all, on behalf of the conferences and institutions that manage the BCS, I want to congratulate both of these fine teams for their effort tonight and all during the season. And now it's my honor to present, on behalf of the American Football Coaches Association, the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper to Coach Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Nick, all your players want to get a piece of the trophy, so I'm going to get a piece of you right now first. You're the first coach in BCS history to win 3 of these titles, to lift that trophy 3 times. I know what that must mean to you, and I know you'd rather talk about what it means to your players, but I saw a piece we did with you on ESPN about your dad, and about him passing away when you were a young coach. If you can, talk for a moment about what it would mean to your father right now to know that his young son has won 3 national championships.
Well, I think my father would be proud of the players. That's what I think. And, you know, and all of our fans, our administration at the University of Alabama, Dr. Witt, Mal Moore, every player who worked so hard, made a commitment and bought in, our great fans who have supported us all year long. I mean, that's what my dad would feel great about. And that's what I feel great about. all the players who put so much into this to have a chance, and the way they responded to terrible pain and disappointment the first time we lost to a very, very good LSU team, and I'd like to congratulate them on a great year that they had. But I'm so happy and proud for our players, our folks, the people in our community who have been through so much with the tornado. I hope this lifts their spirits and give them hope for a successful future.
LSU had been prepared for what every team threw at them all season long. They were able to adjust in the second half of the SEC championship game. What was it that your team prepared that they were not prepared for tonight?
Well, we didn't really do a lot different. I think we did some things on offense formationally. Jim McElwain did a great job. Our offensive team did a great job. Defensively, we didn't do anything different. We just played well, played the blocks. They had a tough time running the ball. And our special teams did an outstanding job. Now, we did some different things on special teams, and the big punt return was one of those things.
And throwing the ball on first down, wouldn't you say that was different?
Well, we do that a lot anyway, but we knew we had to do it, and A.J. did a great job. Our receivers did a great job. We had good protection for the most part.
All right, Coach, I'd like to say congratulations again on a third, the first gentleman ever to win a third BCS national championship. And now it's time to hand out the offensive and defensive MVP awards. First of all, the offensive award. And should be no surprise, the guy who kept throwing the ball on the first down, A.J. McCarron. Ah, there you are, A.J. Trophy's over here. You want to grab it and hold it up for the crowd?
Oh, we out here with two.
Talk to A.J. first. Going in, obviously, you knew what the game plan was. Did you have any doubt in your mind that you were able to carry out this game plan that had carried so heavily on your big running back before?
No, sir, not at all. When you got a great offensive line like I have, great players around you, it makes your job easy as a quarterback. And I got to give all the credit to them. They earned this award for me tonight. And if I could, I wish I could have the whole team up here, because it's not just the offense. The defensive scouts that we go against every week that push us to be the best we can. And we want to give this to the best fans in the world.
It was still nice to see Trent Richardson get a touchdown, too, though, and finally get us a touchdown in this game.
Oh, definitely. We had to get over that hump eventually, and who else? Number 3, he's carried us all year. He's the best player. And in my eyes, he's the Heisman, the best running back to ever play at this university. And I love the kid to death. He's a great person off the field, not only on the field.
You should also get MVP for all those great holds on the field goals as well. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's bring in Courtney Upshaw, the defensive MVP. Courtney, you're behind me. Go pick up your MVP award. Don't be celebrating until, I know you got to eat. You already ate. The game's over. You already ate. I was getting ready to say, you pick up the MVP award, but the entire defense gets this one.
Yes, sir. The entire defense. That's why I'm going to pass this on to my whole defense. Touch that thing, folks. Let go. Roll Tide, baby. Roll Tide. Tell once again, baby. We're here. Let go.
Do you realize, I'm sure you'll realize this when you get in the locker room, I don't know if you know now, that LSU crossed the 50-yard line one time in this entire game.
Oh, yeah, that's what we supposed. Hey, this defense is built on stopping them, and that's what we did. Shout out, baby. Let go. Yeah.
You basically did this 2 games in a row. You didn't win the first game, but I think your defense felt you just didn't lose the first game.
Yeah, well, we wanted to come out and show the world that, you know what I'm saying, we really beat ourselves in the first game. No, we don't want to down LSU. They're a pretty good team, but we want to come out and dominate from start to finish, and that's what we did.
Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to the entire defense, the entire Crimson Tide, the entire Crimson Tide family. Alabama, national champions for the second time in the last 3 years. Right now, let's throw it back to Brent Musburger.
John, thank you very much. You talk about domination. 92 total yards by LSU, an average of only 2.1, 2 of 12 on third down. The Tide forced 2 turnovers here tonight. Herbie and I are going to come back. We're going to have some final thoughts and a reminder to tune into SportsCenter right after the game on ESPN with Chris Fowler, Gene Chizik, Chip Kelly, and Desmond Howard. Chris and the gang will have full post-game coverage. They'll have guests, press conferences, analysis, and more. And we'll wrap it up when we come back to New Orleans.
This post-game report is brought to you by Ford. Drive one. Welcome back to the Ford BCS postgame show.
For the SEC, this was the easiest one of them all. An all SEC championship, and now for the 6th straight year in the BCS era, the SEC has prevailed. Alabama for the 2nd time in 3 years. We also have been Auburn a year ago, Florida a couple of times in 2006 and 2008 under Urban, and in 2007 it was LSU. Let's go down below now to Aaron Andrews with Coach Les Miles of LSU.
Brent, thanks so much. Coach, thank you for making time. I know you're just in there with your team. What was your message to them?
They're in pain. Certainly it's not something that they wanted to endure in their last contest as a very quality team. I told them that those men that'll be with us next year will certainly look to finish the season right. And those men that leave us to graduation and on to other endeavors, they've accomplished a tremendous amount. You know, they're conference champions, Western Division champions, numerous individual awards. They've represented this institution extremely well, fought through adversity, and no matter how hard this is, they've accomplished a lot.
Offense just was never able to get it going. What was the biggest problem?
We just couldn't sustain any consistency. The opportunity at first downs really were taken for granted, and until which time we weren't getting them, and then the calls became much more difficult.
As you know, there will be a ton of second guessing tomorrow, tonight. Many people calling for Jarrett Lee in the stands. What was the reason behind not putting him in tonight?
Well, we felt like with Jordan Jefferson's feet and ability to move, get out of the rush, that it was fair that he finish.
Coach, but you guys go undefeated in the SEC, win the SEC championship. What will you take out of this year?
Well, certainly a lot was accomplished. It was a tremendously strong year for in any regard. The back end, boy, we wanted to finish this one. They'll be a little bit more resolve and want, and that just hard to finish a season that was so successful like this way.
Appreciate your time. Brent?
Aaron, thank you very much. Meanwhile, for Dante Hightower, little piece of history here tonight as the Crimson Tide rolls on and captures another national championship. AP, our coaches poll now since 1936. One of those 2 polls, that is 9 national championships. And that takes a lead on the likes of Notre Dame, Oklahoma, USC. And Alabama certainly reigns as #1 here tonight, Herbie. What are your final thoughts on this one?
Well, obviously everybody's going to remember this game 10 or 20 years from now and remember that great defense. I mean, they came out, set the tone early, took away LSU's ability to run the football, and then they put Jordan Jefferson in some obvious passing downs. The offensive line of LSU didn't help out in any way at all. But I think the one thing I'll really appreciate is A.J. McCarron and the way he really asserted himself early, the play calling by Jim McElwain. I think it put McCarron into a flow early, got his confidence established. He finishes 23 of 34. So as Nick Saban said, just a great team effort, offense, defense, special teams, 1 penalty. I mean, it was as dominating a performance as I've ever seen in college football.
Even though they're going to lose some great players off that defense to the National Football League, will they come back #1 next summer?
Well, you are going to lose, Trent Richardson possibly too if he declares and gets ready for the NFL. A lot of those defenders are going to move on. Remember the team 2 years ago when they won the championship, Alabama fans just assumed, well, look at all these great freshmen, we'll just throw them in and it'll be great. With Nick Saban's complexity on defense, experience is very, very important. So just to sit here and assume that they're going to be number one, I think is unfair. They're going to be in the top 5, obviously. They open up early in Dallas, a game that you and I will more than likely be there, playing the Michigan Wolverines. So they'll have a big stage early to show who they are next year. But this will be one of those games that, the longer it's removed, the more we're really going to sit back and really appreciate the defensive effort.
Herbie, you know how hard it is for a quarterback to improve. What about A.J. McCarron, from the last time you saw him to here tonight?
I was blown away by what he was able to do. And I mentioned to you one of our commercial breaks, you could almost feel a kind of an aura about him and the way his body language was in the huddle on the sidelines. I think he was feeling it early. I think he had confidence in the plan. They did a great job of moving him away from LSU's pressure. I thought that Alabama stole the LSU spirit early in the game, and they never were able to kind of regain their footing emotionally, and Alabama just continued to take the fight to them. It could have gotten a lot worse if Bama would have been able to punch in some of those field goals into touchdowns.
So shutout, and the first one in the BCS era. And up next on ESPN, of course, SportsCenter with more from the All-State BCS National Championship. They'll have special guests. We'll hear from the coaches, and we'll find out exactly what they thought. Everyone has to be tremendously impressed with the defensive performance. And this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been dreaming about this. First day of practice, I was thinking about this. Picture on the news, yeah, they see about this. Even in the paper, they gon' read about this. Cause all of my life, training day and night, I'm preparing to fight for everyone, never leave. Crowds going insane, yeah, they screaming our name. There's nothing nobody can say, cause
Caught Kevin Norwood again. Shelley nails it. Jefferson's in trouble.
Leaping catch, tremendous efforts.
A horrible mistake. Bama is in business again. Blocked.
it's the day that I have always dreamed of forever. When you call me the champ of the world. I can raise my hands, I can scream out the best in the world. Whole world, all my blood, sweat, and crime was all for this time.
Our director, Derek Mobley, our producer, Bill Bunnell, our stage manager, Jacqueline Jamison. Thanks to everybody who contributed here tonight. The champions of the college football world, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Until we gather again a year from now in South Florida for the Discover BCS National Championship. So long, everybody.